How's it going, everyone? How you doing out there? All right. My name is Malik Forte.
And I am Anna Prosser Robinson. Thrilled to be joining you.
Yes. And guys, this is Heroes of the Storm. The mayhem begins. Let's get some hype in this room. Come on, guys. That's right. Hype levels over 20 in here.
Yeah, for those of you who are watching at home, this is amazing here in person. We've got food and drink, we've got food carts, we've got temporary tattoos, and you can be drawn as a caricature. There's places to take photos to make you look like you're inside Heroes of the Storm. This is fun.
This is very fun. This is very fun. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces. The latest and greatest in gaming in here. We got Rocket Jump. Jesse Cox is in the building. My friend Michelle Mural. My Nerdist family's in here. CNET, everyone's in here. I even broke out the white pants for this event.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
We've got Heroes community members here too. We've got Heroes Hype in the building. Heroes Live is here. TGN Squadron. All sorts of people who are passionate about Heroes and here to celebrate it.
Yes, yes, yes. We are celebrating the launch of Heroes of the Storm. We got some great matches coming up later, but even better, later on, we're going to be revealing some stuff coming down the pipeline for Blizzard. Yeah, come on, guys, you gotta get loud. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
Yes.
Yes, great content.
Everyone wants first looks, but also we can't neglect our esports roots.
Exactly.
So we're gonna have some crazy cool matches. First of all, we're bringing back the winners of Heroes of the Dorm.
Yes.
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 Cal Berkeley will be here.
Cal Berkeley.
And they are going to fight against Cloud9. So it's going to be college versus pros.
That's gonna be a crazy one. And what else is coming down the pipeline?
Well, we also have a returning team from BlizzCon. Low Expectations is back in the building over here. Malik, I know they're your favorite team. You're even wearing their color.
I don't know about those guys. They're suspect.
And they're just going to be taking on a team of Heroes Community Challengers who are going to try to take them down. And we hear that Smack Talk is the name of the game in that match.
Yeah, I hope the challengers do a good job against those guys. I'm not going to say their names. I might be a little biased, okay? A little biased, all right? You chill out, Jesse, okay? You chill out.
And of course, we're going to wrap up with 2 more matches after that, but we're not allowed to tell you what those will be yet.
All right, yeah.
What could they be?
What could they be? Ooh. Anyways, guys, as you know, Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard, they launched a ton of parties around the world, and even here in downtown LA. They actually had a cool event where they had 3 street artists get together to make a Heroes of the Storm mural right in downtown LA. It's amazing. It was amazing, right?
Yeah, I'm super stoked to see it. And we actually have a video that's going to show you a little bit about the inspiration and the making of this mural. So let's check that out now.
Let's do it.
I'm Captain Chris, I'm from London, and I'm an illustrator and graffiti artist.
My name's Ed Hicks, I'm a mural painter from London. I'm Smug, and I'm a graffiti artist based in Scotland. We just want to throw together a big old melee battle scene. I suppose we start with the design work. Blizzard have got some amazing illustrators working for them. Really hyper-detailed, classically done, really.
We looked at the reference for all the characters, talked amongst ourselves to try and work out how we were going to position them all.
Sort of going to and from until we can agree on an overall design. And then I guess it's just straight into it, trying to throw it up as fast as we possibly can. It's been really great working with the guys.
We all work differently. I kind of like to freestyle it a little bit, to throw my own style into things.
This is definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest thing they've got around to so far.
It's massive. This is one of the biggest pieces I've worked on, and it's been a challenge, but it's been a lot of fun as well.
We seem to be keeping to type, to be honest. Smug's doing big burly monsters, which he definitely is. Chris's guys are quite heroic, which I think he has those qualities. Whereas I'm definitely going for the gothic and bad guy stuff, which I'd like to say I have some kind of connection to.
Yeah, if I could be any of them, I'd be Tyrael, because he can fly and he's got a big sword and he's got no face. He's all shiny and cool.
Maybe Diablo. He's big and he's red. He's fire. It's everything a guy would want.
Yeah,
or a girl would want. One of my favourite characters is definitely the Lich King, Athas. I mean, who hasn't always wanted to be a massive sword-wielding Ice Lord? We've all got dreams.
Give it up for that. I gotta say, that was pretty amazing. I can't wait to see that in person.
Me neither. And there's lots more that we get to see in person here today, Malik.
Yes.
And we're going to bring someone up who can talk to you a little bit more about what you can expect to see in terms of first looks. Let's give a warm welcome to K.A.O. Milker. Come on up.
Come on up, dude.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's up, buddy? How you feeling today, man?
Very good. This is such an exciting time for all of us. We've been working so hard on this game for so long. We've had a lot of you with us across the alpha and the beta, and to finally be launched now, it's amazing. So thanks for being a part of all this, everybody.
And Kao, in case people don't know who you are, what do you do?
I'm the lead game producer for Heroes of the Storm. Oh, thanks, yeah.
Yes.
So I work really closely with Dustin Browder, our game director, Sam Didier, our art director, Alan DeBeer, our tech director, and our whole team to kind of chart the course of Heroes in the road here and in the future.
All right, so now the game is out. How are you feeling about the launch so far?
It's been awesome. Like, you know, we worked so hard on this. Like I said, we love this game. I think our team and Blizzard as a whole has really gotten behind this game. It's really a celebration of Blizzard games in general. You know, we're getting to bring all these characters together that we all love so much in such a fun game, and it's a team game, so we get to enjoy it together. I think being at this moment now where it's finally out and everyone has access to it and is free to play so they can check it out and decide for themselves if it's the kind of game that they want to play, it's amazing.
Well, we've had lots of new stuff coming out. We're talking a lot about first looks that we get to see today, but let's rewind a little bit and talk about, we have Johanna, we have some other exciting things going on in-game for players right now.
Definitely. So during launch week here, Johanna, our Crusader from the Diablo universe, has joined the fray. She's a melee warrior. She's a lot of fun. She has a really interesting kit where she gets to have a lot of engagements, escapes, stuns. She wreaks a lot of havoc, and I think people are having a lot of fun with her so far.
Yes.
We've been seeing both of her heroic abilities getting used almost evenly, which is a really good sign that people are finding a lot of utility with her. So we're thrilled about her. They can check her out now. She's live in the game right now. There's also a lot of cool stuff that we're doing for launch. There's an XP bonus that's live in the game right now. So this week, people can come in, get a little head start on leveling and progression in the game. That's actually going to continue on for the next couple weeks as well, and it's going to escalate it. So people will get more and more XP as we go forward with that XP bonus.
Cool.
Excellent, excellent. So, Kaheo, I have a question for you. Now is it time for you to chill? The game is out. I would imagine you get to just, go to an island and, have a nice martini,
With an umbrella in it.
Yeah, with an umbrella in it,
That sounds really, really nice. But
Yeah.
if anything, things are kind of accelerating from here. We're actually growing our team. We're hiring now. People who like this game and they want to be a part of it, they can go to jobs.blizzard.com. They can check out the things that we're hiring for Heroes now. We have so much content in store. We're working on things today that are not going to be in the game until mid to late next year.
Gee
We're going to
whiz.
reveal new content here today that's coming very, very soon. This game is in constant evolution. Just because we've launched doesn't mean it's done. It's kind of a different experience for us that this is a game that's a living, breathing thing. It's always evolving, and it's really exciting to just make new stuff for it. And you will see that we're bringing more stuff in more often than we have even in the past. So look out for all that stuff coming your way.
We can definitely see the love and care with which you do these releases, and we've also seen some great Easter eggs in the game. Are there any that we should look for right now?
So Easter eggs are something that Blizzard and our team are really passionate about, something that people find the time and they crunch to put those kind of things in the game. So right now, most of our battlegrounds have things where you can find interactive objects that if you click on them and interact with them in a certain way, you'll see little surprises and rewards that come from that. There's also our home screens now. We feature the latest hero on them as they come out. There are also interactive things on those that people can look around for, but I'm sure that's just the beginning because, like I said, our team goes out of their way to find opportunities for this kind of stuff, and it's such a part of Blizzard and the way we enjoy these games.
I'm intrigued. I'm going to go home and just click the screen for 10 minutes and just sit there clicking, finding every Easter egg. Everybody should do that. Just go home.
Click.
Well, thank you very much. And you're going to be visiting us later, giving us a little more, right?
Definitely.
Right?
There's
Right?
a lot more to come here. We're really excited to show you some of the new stuff that's coming very, very soon.
Excellent, excellent.
Thanks,
Everybody
everybody.
give it up
Thank
for
you,
KO. Yes.
All right, Malik,
All right.
the time has come.
My body is ready.
Is it? Are you
It is
sure?
So ready.
Are your bodies ready?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because it is time for the first match that is going to be Cloud9 versus Cal Berkeley, and I could not be more excited. Let's bring out the teams right now.
Yeah. This is going to be a knockdown drag out.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Wearing blue. Let's hear it for Cloud9.
All right, in Ravenous Red, the winners of Heroes of the Dorm. Give it up for UC Berkeley. Yes.
All right, guys, this is going to be so much action, but don't worry, you don't have to navigate it alone. We have some awesome guys to take you through it. Our casters, Solid Jake and Kubi.
Take it away, guys.
Alrighty, Anna. Thank you, Malik. Thank you, Anna. And I am, in fact, Solid Jake, joined by the one and only Corey Kubi Hover.
That's right. All throughout the alpha and up through the release of the game, we've been hard at work providing content for you guys. Our community podcast, Town Hall Heroes. We're bringing on pros all the time, talking with the community members, and we're also doing a lot of casting for the community tournaments as well. So we're hard at work bringing that content to you guys, and today is no exception. But Jake, have you noticed what's behind us?
Oh, Corey,
real quick,
what is
Let's
that?
take a look. Oh my God, look at
all
everything
these
that is
nerds.
going on here. I love to see this. The excitement from all the community members here, really awesome. They all just want to check out the new stuff that is in store for us today.
And you know, on that note, Corey, we do have two huge teams, and it's kind of like the NFL meets collegiate football because we have the collegiate champions, Cloud9 Berkeley, and we actually have a brief introduction to recap their event from Heroes of the Dorm and their journey through that whole event. So let's take a look at that video. Man, I was at Heroes of the Dorm, and that was one of the most exciting moments we've had yet to date in Heroes. But Corey, they are against a Titanic team. Berkeley will be facing off against none other than Cloud9.
Maelstrom, that's right. They are one, I will say it, the top team in NA right now, as we can see the teams right here. But let's jump into UC Berkeley's roster.
Yeah, we can see these guys here. They performed so well at Heroes of the Dorm. They have that LAN experience, and that's a big deal.
Yes.
They've won an event with a massive crowd. We can see Zero, Fan, Pandajigo, Ultimated, and Suppy.
That's right. We need to highlight a couple players on this team. Fan plays for Cloud9 Maelstrom's sister team, Cloud9 Vortex. So no doubt he has a lot of experience scrimming against that team, so he'll know some of their strategies. And of course, Suppy, you guys all know him from StarCraft, plays for Evil Geniuses, a well-known player, and he saw some really, really clutch support play from him through Heroes of the Dorm.
Yeah, between Ancestral Healing on Rhaegar and just Brightwing play in general,
Oh, yeah.
really on point. But on the opposing side, we have the challengers there. It is going to be Cloud9, Maelstrom, and these guys, they've just played in a huge tournament, WCA. They've been competing since almost the beginning of the alpha.
Yeah, this roster that they've had has been very, very consistent, at least over the last 5 months. I don't know if we can check out that roster card right now to see what players we have on there. There it is. Okay, playing for them, we have K1 Pro, King Caffeine, iDream, Dunk Train, and Biceps.
And these guys are not new to the LAN environment either. We had multiple players here competing in the BlizzCon finals last year under a different banner, but no matter. They are well seasoned in competitive Heroes, and they are ready to defend their title as a professional team.
This is just a really, really great story that we have built up between these two teams. Two pools of teams that have never been able to face off against each other. So really just the top team in the competitive scene right now up against the winners of Heroes of the Dorm. We really could not get a better match today, honestly. But I think that these guys are ready for the draft. I think we should hop right in if we can. Let's do it.
I'm ready to roll. And you know what, guys? Are you ready? Are you ready for the draft?
Yeah, we need to get some excitement in here. Let's go, guys.
All right, well, we do have the draft up here, and we actually do know the bands. Now, they are not displayed on the screen
right.
here, but Kubi, what are the bands in this match?
We have Illidan, Bandout, and Kerrigan.
Oh my goodness, well, we saw Fan playing Illidan
right.
in Heroes of the Dorm, and he was absolutely picking apart the opposing team. So that's not a big surprise. Cloud9 really respecting that hero.
Yeah, absolutely. And he, if given the right opportunity, the right supports, the right composition stuns, he can wreak havoc. So absolutely, it's very much a respect band, and I like to see that they're really bringing the heat. They're really trying to cut out any of those top players from UC Berkeley.
All right, well, the first pick is going to be K1 Pro on Jaina. Now, Jaina is a very formidable mage. She has slowing blizzard ability. She's really a frost mage, very much like the old Warcraft games. And Brightwing is going to be the
That is a very, very early pickup. Now, Brightwing has actually seen quite a bit more play, especially in the competitive meta, because she's got a lot more self-healing. She's a lot harder to take down. She has Cleanse. She has the new promote ability that's been buffed, and it's just like all around a very, very versatile healer.
And of course, Sylvanas, she is of course the Banshee Queen of the Undead, and she can lock down enemy minions and structures. She can actually just disable them with her trait. Very powerful for pushing in general, and just damage. She has the output, but oh my goodness, speak of damage output.
Okay. Well, we have the two mages together, Jaina and Kael'thas. That is an insane amount of damage output between those two heroes, at range no less. But we have to highlight that these heroes really don't have a lot of mobility. Jaina gets sprint at 13, and then only until level 20 where you get the Bolts of the Storm. So they have to make sure that their positioning is very much on point.
We see Anubarak is going to be picked up. He is one of the strongest initiators in the game. So like you mentioned, they're going to be in the back line a lot. He can burrow underground and come up from the burrow with a stun on them.
Sure.
So if he can get those big plays, we'll see the mages picked off quite quickly.
Yeah, multiple stuns in his kit. And yes, we have Johanna, the newest hero in the pool. I am so excited to see Johanna play. This is the first competitive heroes match I have seen with Johanna, and I'm just really excited. She's an excellent peeler for the backline, so she can throw down the stuns, really to keep that backline safe. And we're talking about Jaina and Kael'thas, the characters that don't have a lot of mobility. That, I think, is the perfect hero to pick up to keep that backline safe.
Yeah, she is just such an exciting hero to watch in general. In King Caffeine, no matter, a lot of people would say he is actually the best warrior player in North America, if not the world. So seeing him play on Johanna is going to be a blast. Nova is the final pick in this game. I am so pumped for this match.
Yes, we're jumping into the show match. Guys, let's get excited. Let's go. I am just too pumped for this. I really like that Nova pick, too. We got to talk about that. You know, Johanna's a really, really good peeler, but if you don't know where the Nova is and she's able to sneak up on that back line, throw down that huge amount of burst damage that she has, it's going to be trouble. So we're going to have to make sure that they have good vision on that.
All right, guys, well, the first battleground of the day is gonna be Cursed Hollow, and we can see on the blue side, it's iDream on Zeratul, Dungtrine playing Uther with a Lumberjack skin, K1 Pro on the Winterveil Jaina, Biceps playing as Kael'thas, and King Caffeine rounds out the team on Kubi's favorite, Johanna.
That's right, I'm really liking the B-walking, a little fun stuff. Okay, over on the right side of the map, for UC Berkeley, we have Suppy, who's gonna be playing Brightwing, Zero is gonna be on Anubarak, over in the middle lane, we have Ultimated on Tassadar, Pandajigu is gonna be playing Sylvanas, and rounding out the composition, Fan is going to be on Nova.
This is cool. Now, you notice each team has one cloak hero, Nova and Zeratul. They can hide in the shadows, approach the enemies from afar, and we're going to see that on both ends. Now, the cool thing about Zeratul, he's going to go in, win the big damage from the mages comes out to try to finish off the kill. But Nova, she's going to be lurking and hunting sneakily for those squishier heroes.
Yeah, both of these heroes are very, very positional based. Yes, Zeratul has the blink, and especially at 13, he gets a lot more mobility with the Wormhole talent. We're most likely to see that, but Fan has to be very, very particular about his positioning because Nova, one of the lowest HP pools in the game, and she does not have any escapes, especially until level 20. If she's caught out of position, that is going to spell trouble for Berkeley. But I have no doubt that Fan is an expert on this hero and will be able to execute.
All right, well, we see Suppy is using that phase shift, one of Brightwing's abilities to teleport across the map on a friendly ally, and he uses that to come up here to help push this lane. They're trying to just get a bit of pressure on the top lane because they notice it might be one of the lanes with less defense.
And we can talk about Johanna a little bit. For those of you guys who are not familiar, we just saw the Condemn ability, which is a really nice AoE pull after about a second. That ring that appears around her pulls heroes in and stuns them for a quarter second. And that is going to be a big deal for peeling for heroes like we talked about earlier. Hold on a second, we have a bit of an engagement. The pull does not quite hit Suppy. That might have actually put him in a bit of trouble, but look how quickly she is healing back up.
Yeah, we have 3 members each in this top lane because they have to respond to the aggression. Of course, we mentioned Sylvanas. She can lock down those minions and towers and leave that uncontested, but that is a huge pull-in by Johanna, forcing out that hunting wave, and she will be able to get out of that situation.
So scary, yes, with the Condemn, and then you follow that up with the Punish. That's an AoE swipe in front of Johanna that slows the targets for, I think, about 60%, fading over a couple seconds. And that's a really big deal and allows her to chase. She can get into the thick of things with her trait, Iron Skin. She's able to be unstoppable for 4 seconds, and we already have the first pick of the game. for UC Berkeley over in the middle lane. Yes, ultimated, very low on HP, but still able to clear out that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Tassadar is a very unique hero. He actually has an ability that reveals cloaked heroes like Zeratul. So we can use that ability or pull his trait to find the hidden hero and dish out the damage to remove him. And he did succeed in getting the first takedown of the game.
Okay, now over in the bottom lane, we haven't talked about this matchup a little bit, but Anubarak, of course, you can see all the beetles that are fighting for him. Anytime that he fires out one of his basic abilities, a beetle will spawn and push out anything near him, auto-attacking, etc. He can talent that into lifesteal, making him a very, very sustainable tank, and honestly, quite difficult to tank down.
All right, Kubi, but this is in fact Cursed Hollow, and we're at the 2-minute and 30-second mark where that is the first tribute of the game, but we mentioned the takedown is going to be there on Nova.
Okay, that's what I was talking about. The positioning is so important on Fan. If they're able to scout her out with that AoE damage and able to lock her down in place, that's going to make it very difficult for them to execute their strategy. That might be enough of an advantage for Maelstrom to take this first tribute, but it actually looks as though UC Berkeley is going to get there first.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, this tribute is here, and both teams are rotating down to it. If you capture the tribute by channeling for a small amount of time, you will, and you collect 3 of them, the map will grant you a curse that will make it so the enemy team's fortifications no longer fire for a short period of time.
Yeah, that's devastating. Along with that, the minions also drop down to 1 HP, making it very, very easy for your team to push down whatever lane you want. We see a ton of strategies, whether you throw all 5 of your heroes into one lane to get a huge amount of push through that lane, or just split up and really try to make sure you soak that experience and just put the enemy team on the back foot. Look how much push we've seen in the top lane from Sylvanas, and that really just goes to show how devastating her trait can be when left unchecked.
Yeah, it's an interesting play to do here by Cal Berkeley. They actually opted to leave 2 heroes in the top of the map to do that, get that push out, but the stun comes out just barely, not enough. Pandajigo has the perfect timing on that haunting wave.
That was actually flawless. Of course, her haunting wave, she throws out that wave, and then whenever she wants, she can reactivate it to jump to that spot. You'll see that time and time again. And Sylvanas, yes, she's another very positionally based hero, and those types of plays will be very clutch in order to take down Cloud9 Maelstrom.
Yeah, they have this very forward position on Uther and Kael'thas. They're constantly looking for someone to rotate, but Fan is here, and he does have that stealth. So it is, again, a 3v3 in the top lane, but Fan is coming from the backside. The damage is going in onto Biceps, but the heal from Uther will be enough for him to stay alive.
This rotation that Cloud9 Maelstrom has set up is quite scary. There's a lot of lockdown. Kael'thas, of course, has the gravity lift, the Hammer of Justice for Uther, and then the general peel that Johanna has. Like, that can make for very scary, and there's 3 very squishy heroes pushing in this top lane.
Yes, but the second tribute has, in fact, spawned over at the bottom part of the map, and Jaina will be able to collect it uncontested. So this is suddenly a 2-0 advantage in terms of the tribute count, and if they manage to secure that third tribute, they will curse the enemy team.
Yeah, that could be very devastating, but we have to talk about this. The experience lead is in favor of UC Berkeley, and a little bit of push. King Caffeine is quite low, probably still has this trait back up. That's why you see him sitting a little bit aggressive. He does get a small shield from that to keep him alive.
Well, Zeratul Tassadar still remaining in the middle lane, and Brightwing is going to use that phase shift to get back into battle, going up to the top lane with Fan to continue pushing here. If they remove towers and sports, that gains them additional experience, forcing that team level further ahead, and really, Corey, they're looking for that level 10.
That's right. That is going to be a huge power spike, and that's really where the team fighting is going to start erupting. There's so much potential that we get out of all of these heroes at level 10, and just make for devastating plays. We're going to see so much more positioning out of these teams, especially contesting the map objective.
Yeah, well, there is that map objective. The third tribute has spawned, and this time Cal Berkeley does have to respond to it. Giving up a tribute this early in the game strategically isn't the best option, and there's still no level 10 on the board, but Dunk Train, the polymorph, is going to be enough. The Invenom, not enough.
Oh, it's so close to being able to survive, and that was actually a really nice aggressive play. Almost punished by Cloud9 Maelstrom. You can see some of the members trickling in just a little bit too late. This should give, actually, Fan is really far out of position. iDream looking to get the final damage, and the one auto attack from Kael'thas. Biceps secures the kill for Cloud9 Maelstrom.
Yeah, beautiful gravity lift to get that pickup. The tribute is still on the table. They've abandoned it because they see an opportunity. That is 3 takedowns in this fight. iDream blinks away at the last possible second.
All while this tribute is still remaining uncontested in the bottom. I think whoever wins this little scuffle is going to be able to walk away with that. If it's Cloud9 Maelstrom, it's going to be a big deal, but level 10 has just been hit for UC Berkeley.
Yes, that's going to grant them those heroic abilities, but the dive is there. There is the precision strike and the wailing arrow, but not enough. King stays alive, and the kill is there.
UC Berkeley looking really strong. Pandajigo still with the chase. Is he going to be able to get it? No. Okay, looks as though Biceps is going to be able to get back over the line. But look at this aggression. the confidence in the play from UC Berkeley. I am loving this.
Yeah, they have a half a level lead, and they did manage to pick up that third tribute of this game. So they do deny the curse at this point in time, but a curse will spawn again very soon, and Pandajigo caught out of position. The singularity spike will be enough, but Zeratul also falls.
Wow, so many squishy heroes in this game, and they are getting punished for the positioning. I really like the aggressive play from both teams. Now Fan, he's getting slowed by that water elemental, and the stun, yes, he's going to fall, and that's, again, the positioning, and you just never know when someone is going to throw out that AoE ability. All right, Jake, I think we have maybe a bit of a lull in the action. Maybe we can pull up the heroics so that we can see exactly what they have gone. So, okay, so we see the Void Prison, the Divine Storm. That's an interesting pick, and it's going to be the Blessed Shield for Johanna. That's throwing out a quick skill shot ability to get a lot of stuns. Phoenix, I'm seeing Archon, Blink Heal, yes.
Precision Strike.
Wailing Arrow, okay. Precision Strike is a very interesting pickup. I think that's some of the backline heroes. But yeah, so okay, all right, let's pull that down just so we can get back to some of this action.
Yes, because we do have the fourth tribute of this game spawn in the bottom part of the map, and the allies are starting to come to help out the team of Cal Berkeley. They want to get this, they want to deny that curse once again and stay in this game. But there is this deny by Johanna using that blind from behind the wall there.
Yes, not as big of a power spike. Both teams are on even footing, but the positional advantage is well in the favor of UC Berkeley. They pick up their second tribute in a row, and now we're at 2-2 for the tributes. The next one that spawns, whichever team grabs it, will throw down the curse on the enemy team.
Just really beautiful zoning there by the Nubarak player Zero. In the front line, just denying with his stuns. He's such a powerful hero in terms of keeping you away and initiating, so constantly just keeping them out of there. But Dunk Train, he's not going to leave just yet. He wants to make sure he's in this bottom lane to continue soaking experience.
I'm very impressed with UC Berkeley's play. I know that these guys have really been grinding it out over the past day. We've seen them just training super hard, and it's really showing. They look like they have that synergy they need to take down Cloud9 Maelstrom, and it looks like they might be going forward. Hold on, Suppy is able to blink out with the blink kill. Really, really nice play.
That's the power of Brightwing in general. She has so much mobility if you go for that heroic, and it's just so hard to lock her down. But we do see that Pandajigo is well aware King Caffeine is hiding in the bush, throws out that ability, and this tribute will in fact grant a curse one way or another. Whoever picks it up will get that advantage.
That's
and
right.
Look at that Void Prison!
That's a huge one. That picks up 3 members, and the Phoenix will be in place. The Precision Strike, and they're going to pick up a couple of heroes. Really well played. Calstuppy just being able to escape the Condemn, but is the AoE damage going to be enough? Not quite. Ultimated, looking to escape. He's in that Archon form, doesn't quite get the Dimensional Warp off, and Pandajigo looks like he's also going to fall. That's a 4-0 victory for Cloud9 Maelstrom.
Yeah, big plays by Dunk Train actually using the stun to keep him from being able to use that Haunting Wave. He wanted to teleport to his Shadow, but wasn't capable, and we do see the first curse going to side of Cloud9, and they have taken the experience lead for the first time in this game.
That's right, and with taking all of those kills, they were already set up to start taking down some of these structures. They're going to get a nice lead, and this is going to net them quite a bit more experience. So UC Berkeley falling behind a little bit, but they had such a solid early game. I have no doubt that they will be able to recompose themselves and get back into this game.
And we can even see they have those mercenaries pushing in the middle of the map. The full hearth coming out from multiple members that want to go back to base, make sure their mana is nice and full for the next push, and I think they might be posturing for a boss in a little bit.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Still, though, for a 10-minute tribute in this game, I have to say UC Berkeley is defending very well. If they only end up losing the 1 fort, that's not all that bad.
Yeah, but iDream gonna remove those giants. We do see the curse is still active. Those minions have very little HP, but in 20 seconds, that will finally fade. And Bruisers have been picked up just below here by Cal Berkeley, getting some more map presence.
Yep. Jake, you mentioned the possibility that Cloud9 Maelstrom might be taking their golem. It looks as though they will in the lower left. If UC Berkeley gets wind of this, they might try to take their own, but actually the timing of it, this might allow Cloud9 Maelstrom to rotate up and contest the top right golem.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. We see they're all leaving, just making sure Dunk captures that. The golem will march down the bottom lane, and this is something that Cal Berkeley does have to respond to. But like you mentioned, they're already starting on their own, and we're going to see if Cloud9 is capable of getting there in time, because this guy is going to hit so very hard in the bottom.
UC Berkeley, they're catching wind of this. They know that it's too risky at this point. Of course, Brightwing in the bottom lane is able to phase shift up at any point, and you can see that Maelstrom realizes the potential of this, and they're actually going to go for it with 2 of the heroes split down in the bottom lane. They know they have the opportunity to do this. Yes, Brightwing is mobile, but Nova would take so much time to get up there, and this will allow Maelstrom to take the second golem of the game.
This is a pretty big momentum swing for C9, because grabbing that first goal, now grabbing another, it just gives them so much presence on the map, and the top 4 has already fallen to that first curse push that they had.
Right, that's going to require a full response from UC Berkeley. Still, though, things aren't too bad. They're pretty close on levels. They just need to wait out, make sure that they match up with that level 16, and then they can start looking to take a fight.
All right, well, we can see that the deny is there from Zero, just trying to keep them back for a little bit so he can buy some time for the team to respond to that top golem. He does hit very hard, and without the full team there, it's going to be hard to eliminate him quickly.
Yeah, we have the golem pushing in the top lane, and the members of Cloud9 Maelstrom are pushing the bottom lane. It's a really smart strategy. They know that they have UC Berkeley forced to respond to that top golem, and they can push elsewhere. Just really making use of the full advantage in the map. Suppy now actually is forced to use his phase shift, and he will be able to get out of there in time.
That's a big deal because basically they just denied soaking in that bottom lane. Soaking is, of course, just staying around the minions as they fall to gain experience for your team and level up. But both teams do have 16 at this point in time, so it's still quite even in this match.
Look at that, Joanna caught by 3 heroes, still able to walk away. She's pretty good at just, making herself unstoppable with that iron skin and just getting out of ridiculous situations. It's really the strength of the hero.
Yeah, she is so very hard to take down, but this bottom fort looks like it is going to fall. Biceps in the front line with Dongtron, but no, the shielding from Tassadar is going to be enough to dissuade them from this push.
And we see actually a couple members of Cloud9 Maelstrom were thinking about rotating around from the top side. They do have control of that watchtower. And King Caffeine, if you can get Johanna in position behind the enemy team, this might be the opportunity they take to initiate. No, it looks as though they're sort of second-guessing their position here, but it is a cool strategy. I really like that idea. If you can get the flank with her, she's so scary. Because what does she lack? She lacks mobility, especially when she has the Blessed Shield pickup.
Well, the damage is coming in. Brightwing is forced to phase shift down, and the Precision Strike will be a lot of damage, but not quite enough to take out Fan. Fan is backing up. We see Cal Berkeley is moving forward. The stun on both Biceps and K1 Pro coming out from Uther. The heals, that Ghost trying to keep them alive, but the Archon in the front, the shield and ultimated staying alive, but no, the Flame Strike removes him from the battle.
The Ghost of Uther was able to keep those 2 backline heroes up in time, and we saw the potential setup for that Wombo combo, right? They're throwing down the Blessed Shield, and then they're using Divine Storm to lock down into the Precision Strike, but the Divine Storm wasn't quite able to hit some of the targets, and that's what really allowed UC Berkeley to turn that initiation around. Still a 3-for-2 advantage for Maelstrom in that fight. Still really well played from both teams.
Yeah, but look at this. Even though they don't have a curse, they have so much push potential with Sylvanas.
Oh,
and
now
there
they
is
do.
the curse. Nova picked it up in the top using her stealth to get up there, and this is going to be the first curse of the game on the side of Cal Berkeley.
That's right, and it looks as though Maelstrom looking to just take their bruisers to try to contest and alleviate some of this pressure, but I have to say, Berkeley is looking strong, and they're bringing it back in this late game.
Yeah, we can see the takedowns is 8-10 in favor of Cloud9, very close in this game, and they're starting to work on these Giants. Picking those mercenary camps, having them push the lanes for you really helps you have that map control, especially when you already have a curse active.
Yeah, it's just going to force responses out of Cloud9 Maelstrom all over the place. Look at their positioning in base. They're all pushed really far back, which is a far cry from what we saw, 4 or 5 levels ago, where they looked so dominant. They were pushing out with those double golems, just to show you that comebacks are very possible in Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, mercenary camps across the map. Giants here for Cloud9. Bruisers on the side of Cal Berkeley. And really, they're just continuing to push forward in experience. Very close at this point in time. And they're really just trying to feel each other out as this curse will be dissipating in about 5 seconds.
Look at this. Look how scary this setup is they have with these mercenary camps pushing in the middle lane, the bottom lane. We see some of the members are rotating up to the top side. They want to contest that watchtower. And really, this is just pressure all over the place from UC Berkeley.
Yeah, well, we can see the positioning here on Berkeley, like you mentioned. They are very much on the blue side of the map. They're getting aggressive. They're looking to make plays. They're confident after that last team fight because it was so convincing in their favor.
Yes, absolutely. And they know that they can battle against this. And once you take a team fight like that, especially against a team like Cloud9 Maelstrom, it's such a confidence booster. And that really is what's going to allow them to push forward. They're so close in levels. Right now, it's about sort of a big battle to get to level 20. You get those Storm talents. And those are a huge, huge power spike. Look at that Fan just sort of poking at Johanna, just saying, hey, I need you to respect me here. You don't have the initiation to jump in. I realize that you're a peel hero, and we're going to make sure that you know my presence is here.
All right, well, they are well aware of King Caffeine's favorite hiding spot because they found him there a few times, but Brightwing is going to have to use that blink heal to get out of that situation.
Yes, the shield glare just being thrown down. It's a nice ranged ability that Johanna has, and she can even talent it into heals at level 16, which gives her so much sustain.
All right, but we can see that Ignite on the Flamethrower picked up by Kel'Thas. When he uses the Flame Strike from far away, it's going to apply the Living Bomb ability, which will then explode briefly after. And if you're clumped up, it does massive damage to your team.
That's right. I'm sort of noticing the posturing that Maelstrom is putting out. They're sort of going in and poking a lot at Suppy. I think that they've sort of isolated him as the, the keystone to the team. And if they can pull him out early in a fight, that will do so much for them in terms of getting control.
Yeah, but really when it comes to the lockdown, they only have the stun on Uther and the gravity lift of Kale Foss. With that blink heal, Suppy is going to be very hard to lock down, and he is well aware that he is their target.
That's right. Now, so much back and forth between these two teams, and I think that they're really respecting each other. So many of the fights have gone back and forth for either side, and I think they really just want to wait till level 20. There might be about a half-level timing window for Cloud9 Maelstrom to pick a fight when they have those Storm talents. And look, we have another tribute spawning.
Yeah, at this point in time, the tribute count has been reset because both teams has exactly 3, giving them each a curse. So this is kind of resetting the board in that manner, but level 20 is on the board for Cloud9.
That's right, and they have the position, they have multiple heroes down there. I think, especially with level 20, like you mentioned, a cute little precision strike. Really cool to just sort of stall out that tribute, but it doesn't look as though they will be able to contest it. Not a super important one, and I actually really like this play. They realize they have a couple members down trying to take that tribute. They're going to respond with the golem. Oh, no, they're actually backing up. They're not really feeling too confident. They just hit level 20, so they might be able to take it. But if it's underneath the golem, there's a lot of AoE and stuns that could really turn things sour for UC Berkeley.
Yeah, the golem is the most powerful minion on the map when it comes down to it. He has a root ability that he throws on the ground and a stomp. And like you mentioned, if you're caught and you're picked in a team fight where you're in a bad position, it could be devastating, especially when you consider King Caffeine on Johanna could pull you into that stomp that we just saw there.
This is really interesting. King Caffeine, they realize that he's actually out of position. They do have the scouting drone up there. Hasn't noticed it yet, so I think this might be an opportunity for UC Berkeley to try to pick off some of the members of Cloud9 Maelstrom until he returns to his team.
While he is rotating back down through the middle of the map to recuperate with his team, and they are actually starting on the boss, it looks like, but the Giants have been picked up here by Cal Berkeley. Just very passive, very defensive play, because both teams really respect each other right now.
So much respect going back and forth, and we can look to the map objective to really force some of these fights. We just have one popping up right now. Cloud9 Maelstrom is in the lead 1-0, and again, if you catch those 3, that's going to do so much for either team to try to take down the keep fortifications.
Yes, but like you mentioned, they are really posturing. Nova just throwing out her combo, dishing out as much damage as she can. She'll return to the shadows, but the Void Prison locking her down. This could be a big setup for a Cloud9, and we see the Phoenix, the Precision Strike as a response, but he's not going to be eliminated. That level 20 bolt goes out. The stun coming down onto Biceps, but no, he's going to be able to rotate back. iDream is getting very low. The Burrow Charge is going to be enough. Dunk Train getting hit by that Archon. An aggressive Haunting Wave out of Sylvanas. That is going to be 3-0 at this point in time, and will Johanna fall? I think so, Kubi.
Yeah, that's right. King Caffeine looks like it's going to go down. Uther does have the redemption, but he's back up, and it looks as though he will be able to be taken down too. King Caffeine is in a really bad spot. This could be a huge fight for UC Berkeley.
I can't believe it. This is, I mean, he's buying a lot of time right now, and this is actually just to make sure the other heroes can respawn. But as long as King Caffeine is alive, they're not pushing.
Yeah.
And this is very favorable for Cloud9, but no, he will end up falling.
That is just a testament to how long Johanna can stay alive. Really awesome play. We saw the counter precision strike to that Void Prison play, and just really, really nice play from Zero. Is able to catch 3 members in that Burrow Charge, locking down that backline with the Locust Swarm. So much damage output, and it just really put Cloud9 Maelstrom into a frenzy. This is a huge timing window for them to push out.
Cal Berkeley is playing absolutely phenomenally. They have a takedown advantage on one of the best pro teams in the world. This is a collegiate team. They won Heroes of the Dorm, and this is why they're absolutely phenomenal at this game.
Can't let that title fool you, though. These guys, I said it before, they are practicing so much. They really want to show that the collegiate scene is very strong. And I think if they're able to take this win today, that would absolutely prove that.
All right, well, we can see that the aggressive Golem was picked up on the side of Cal Berkeley. This is forcing Cloud9 to respond to this, and guess what Berkeley's doing? They're working on the other Golem on the other side of the map.
They had a 4-hero advantage, and they were able to take out the golem, so you can see they really want to make sure they're taking their time with pushing out. It's very possible that they could, if there were a more aggressive team, they could have pushed out and taken one of the keeps, but they're playing it safe. They're making sure they take the golems, cleaning up every single map objective, making sure that Maelstrom, when they all respond, there's nothing left for them to take.
Really, really nicely done, but a tribute is on the board. 1-1 right now. 3, again, will grant you a curse, but this one, you still want to contest it. You still want to put every effort in, and Cloud9 is getting aggressive. A huge Haunting Wave comes up, but that is for a disengage. They were worried from this aggression.
Yeah, we have the Water Elemental actually kind of locking Ultimated down. He's taking quite a bit, and Brightwing is going to be able to phase shift onto him to get the heals. We saw the preemptive Silence thrown out, which can be used as a very big initiator, and it played a lot of roles in terms of turning some of those fights for UC Berkeley. So maybe this is a timing window for Cloud9 Maelstrom to really push in. The Water Elemental is down, but I think probably the silence is a bigger part of how these team fights are going to develop.
Yeah, but they do have to respond to this boss as much as they would like to take that fight with the Wailing Arrow being on cooldown. This boss is marching in, knocking on their door, and this is their last fortification in the top lane. It's the keep.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is going to put a little bit more pressure on Maelstrom when the next tribute pops up. They just reached 2. Again, if they hit that third one, that's going to be so much pushing power for them to try to take out some of those keeps. When you take out the keeps, you get catapults spawning in those lanes. And honestly, that is a huge amount of push power. It forces the other team to respond constantly.
Yeah, the minions will be able to defend it for the time being, but it is definitely exposed at this point in time, and that's why we see this aggressive posture in the top part of the map by Cal Berkeley. They're looking for a gank, and Johanna is going to be caught out of position, but again, she is very hard to eliminate.
Just walks up. I love it. He probably knows the watchtower's down. He's a pro player. He knows that they're all sitting up there, and he doesn't care. He has the iron skin. He knows that he can walk out of any of those situations. Really just a testament to how strong of a hero Johanna is.
Yeah, she's a really cool hero because her damage output is actually quite small, but her survivability is probably the highest in the game. But the burrow charge initiation is going in, and they will remove Zeratul very early in this fight. They are on fire right now, Kubi.
Yes, absolutely, and that's a huge part of how Maelstrom has been setting up a lot of the fights. They've been looking for some of the squishier targets, throwing down the Void Prison, and then having Dunk Train follow in with the Divine Storm.
And that's 2 curse in a row.
Yeah, 2 curse in a row. They're going to be able to push in put a lot of pressure onto one of these keeps, if not take it outright.
Yeah, and the top lane is also already exposed. We just saw the Golem welling away there. It's getting quite low. Those minions only have 1 health. They just melt away. But the bottom, that's where the pressure is from Cal Berkeley, and they're just pushing in very slowly, very carefully, because they don't want to throw their advantage away.
Yeah, we talked about this. Joanna's not really the greatest of initiators, so they've been relying on that Void Prison to set up good plays for Joanna to walk in and get those stuns. With Zeratul down, I think this gives a huge opportunity for UC Berkeley to push in.
That keep is getting very low, Kubi. It looks like it is going to go down, and that will grant them catapults for the rest of the game. And the Precision Strike is coming out. It gets 2 heroes on the side of Cal Berkeley, but Cloud9, they're trying to defend, getting very low, pulling them in with Johanna. King Caffeine does have the sustain, but they are backing out.
Okay, we saw a bit of a trade, actually, a little bit in favor of Cloud9 Maelstrom. Zeratul is back up, so the initiation is there if they need it. Throwing down the scouting drone, just want to make sure they keep tabs on this. The keep, is down. So like I said, that's going to be catapult spawning in that lane, a lot of pressure. So yeah, a small win for Cloud9 Maelstrom, but UC Berkeley still has a very tight grip on the map.
Oh my goodness, look at the health on that keep too, Kubi. The push from those minions was just barely not enough as iDream on Zeratul was able to defend, but there are bruisers in the middle of the map, and the map control is still in favor. It's all red right now. Berkeley is just painting that picture.
They really just want to make sure that they keep that map control and leave Cloud9 Maelstrom no options in the map. Look at this. Even though they have a hero advantage right now, they're still pushed back to their side of the map. They don't feel comfortable moving out because there's no objectives for them to really make it worth it.
I am actually just so impressed with their play right now. Berkeley is playing phenomenally, showing that they are the kings of the dorm, and maybe the kings of the storm.
Ooh, I like it. And okay, so it looks as though all the heroes are back up, and I got to point this out. There is the kill advantage, 15-12 for UC Berkeley. I just love the synergy that they have, and they really, you can tell they've been practicing a ton, and all their fights. Okay, Void Prison has been thrown down onto Fan and ultimated some squishy targets.
This is going to be a big combo. Kubi, the damage is coming out onto Nova, and she is eliminated very quickly. We have Johanna in the front line. The stun onto a Nubarek will pick up another takedown. That's 2-0 for Cloud9, and they are not done yet.
Yeah, so many of their members are still at very, very high HP. Cal ultimated is out of position, and he just is able to pop the Archon, but doesn't get the shield in the last second. That's 3 kills for Cloud9 Maelstrom. They are going to push in hard and likely take this keep.
50 seconds on those timers right now before they are back alive. And we do have Cloud9 marching in. Look at the damage output on this keep. It's falling so fast.
I don't know if they're going to be able to defend this core. We do have Suppy. He's supporting back, but that's 2 heroes to defend against 5. This is going to be a very, very difficult defense. And it looks as though, he's able to blink out in time. Panajigu with a really, really nice escape. But I don't know if it's going to matter, Jake. Cloud9 Maelstrom is pushing in onto the core.
Yeah, the shields are gone. It's already down to 80% in terms of that health pool, and Cloud9 is just focusing and ignoring Sylvanas, ignoring Brightwing. Actually, they turn around to remove Brightwing. The gravity list on Sylvanas, that is going to be an ace. No, the heals are there.
He's able to get out in time. The blood for blood, very much on point, and Cloud9 Maelstrom is able to take a really, really close game. Gotta give credit to UC Berkeley. They look so strong.
What a close match. I can't believe it, Kubi. I mean, seriously, very evenly matched teams in that game. Congrats to Cloud9 on their victory.
Yeah, I gotta say, and this was, UC Berkeley, they were the underdogs for this, and they really brought the heat. What were the kills? 15-16 at the end?
Yes.
And the game really, any of those fights at the end could have completely turned it for one team or the other. I thought that was really, really well played from both teams.
All right, so let's break down some of that matchup. There was a lot of focus on eliminating Brightwing as often as they could, but we saw how resilient Suppy was, using Blink Heal to constantly get out of there, even polymorphing and phase shifting to get out of a bad situation.
Just really shows the utility that Brightwing has. And the Void Prison is a very, very scary thing. Like, you can get that thrown down, and it's an instant cast. So super difficult to dodge. But again, I think it was very preemptive that they grabbed the Blink Heal because they realized that this was going to be Brightwing the target, and they wanted to make sure that they could get her out away from those combos. And it was scary. They had Johanna in there with the Divine Storm as well, like following that up. Ugh, are you serious? Like, how do you get away from that?
So let's talk about that last fight, because you mentioned Void Prison, and it was a big part of it. Explain what really happened in that battle.
Yeah, and so the Void Prison was a very, very nice setup, but what it really did was sort of isolate a lot of the members out of position. And the big thing that I think happened in that fight is that they were actually able to take out a Nubrak quite quickly. And we saw some of the fights that really turned the favor for UC Berkeley earlier in the match was actually just that, burrowing in past, getting to the back line and eliminating some of those, or at least putting the pressure on them. But if you take out the Nubarak really quickly, the initiator, and then you have to clean up this Void Prison mess, just didn't pan out for them.
So that's actually one of the cooler things about Heroes of the Storm is the fact that there are multiple heroic options.
Yeah.
With Uther specifically, you can grab Divine Shield, which is basically invulnerability for 6 seconds, and Divine Storm in AoE stun. Divine Storm is actually what allowed them to lock down a new Barak and ultimately pick up that takedown. So I think it's a really big play by Dunk Train to pick up that heroic there.
Yeah, that was super cool. And we actually haven't really seen a whole lot of Divine Storm as of late. It's been primarily Divine Shield, just to try to make sure that they can keep those squishier targets alive, maybe some of the melee attackers, etc. But, Jake, what did you think of the Johanna play?
Oh man, it was on point. She just would never fall. She bought so much time and time again. But Kubi, I think we have a special interview lined up with Anna. So Anna, what's going on?
Hi there, guys. I'm sitting here with Luke Mancini. Luke, you have a really, really cool job. Can you tell us what it is?
I basically sit at Blizzard and work paint heroes for Heroes of the Storm all day.
That sounds like a killer job. We actually saw you at the London launch event just recently, right?
Yes, that's true. I was doing a live painting at the demo there, and that was fantastic.
And what did you draw there?
I drew Johanna because we properly released her there, so it was really exciting to finally get to show her off. We've been working on her for ages, so that was cool.
And at these events, you get to sit back here in your quiet little studio and paint these pictures. But what do you do on a day-to-day basis for Heroes?
So a lot of the time, I'm working on either character concepts or character illustrations. So all the big posters that you see of the characters are all what I've been doing, or some skin designs and stuff. So it's a bit of everything, but lots of painting.
I think a lot of us have collected some of your art. I know I have some on my wall at home, and I adore it. What are you working on here today?
So today, it's a bit of a painting to celebrate some of the new content we'll be showing off, as well as mixing in some of the old. So we've got Lily here in the middle of it, sort of going to be joined by some new characters as well. Just getting started at the moment.
Well, I can't wait to see how it develops and to find out what the answer to all these secret teases will soon be. But before then, let's throw it back to you, Solid Jake and Kubi.
Kubi, did you see that painting?
Yeah, there's some ominous figures in the back there. That looks really interesting. I'm super excited to see what that kind of turns out to be.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to see that evolve throughout the day. We'll be definitely checking in with Luke time and time again to see that painting evolve.
That's right.
But we're not done yet with the matches.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? We have so much more in store for you guys. And actually, I think we're going to be throwing to the challengers versus low expectations. And for that, we have Malik.
All right. Well, actually, they're still getting set up, Kubi, because you know what? They got to get ready for that battle. Jesse Cox has got to amp up his team.
That's right.
Get them ready.
Saw him with the little murky figure. I like that. He's really repping it. So maybe we'll see some of that in the play.
Because,
who knows?
yeah, they have a lot to prove. Because although Cloud9 did win in the first match, Jesse Cox and his team, they actually won BlizzCon. They are the champions.
They are the reigning champions returning today. Some slight changes to the roster, but nonetheless, they've got that core team there, quite scary. We've actually played against some of those members in the past. Against Brawl with the Blues, Jesse Cox was on not too long ago, and his Murky was terrifying.
It actually was. We actually fell to his Murky in that game. It was really well played, a lot of fun. Brawl with the Blues, of course, is a show that's put on by Blizzard where they sit down with community members and they stream tournaments live on air. Happens happens just around every patch. It's a ton of fun, but man, I'm super excited to see the games later today. But let's talk a little bit more about Johanna. She's a new hero in the
That's
matchup.
right.
You've played a ton of her.
I have.
And tell us how she works. What's her role in Heroes?
For sure, and she very much works a different kind of role than we're used to seeing for some of the warriors. A lot of the warriors that are popular right now are very, very good initiators. They have ways to dive in. They're good at controlling the fight for their backline as well, sort of what we call peeling. But Johanna really specializes in this category. Condemn is just a really, really nice AoE pull ability, just to like, hey, you're trying to get to my backline. I'm going to make sure that you don't do that, because I want to make sure I can keep those guys alive. Even if they only have 2 really strong damage dealers, that's a very, very strong way to win a fight.
Well, we saw King Caffeine was great at that, but Malik is ready on the stage. What's going on, Malik?
Thank you very much, guys. All right, so this next match, I got to tell y'all, is very personal. I mean, I am a little bit biased about this next match. Last year at BlizzCon, the inaugural BlizzCon Brawl took place, putting a few familiar individuals on opposing teams. We had Team Rocket Jump, which was joined by myself, and then we had Team Lowered Expectations with Jesse Cox and Matt Sohinki and Dave Lasercorn from Smosh Games. It started out pretty close, but then they kind of steamrolled us. They steamrolled us very bad. And while Freddie Wong and the rest of the Rocket Jump guys were able to go back to their Netflix mansion and sit on their piles of millions of dollars, I went back to my lonely little cave under the bridge by myself with nothing. So now, a little bit of redemption is getting ready to happen. I won't be playing in this match, but we're going to have a new challenger step up to the plate against Jesse Cox and the rest of the guys. And I'm really wondering who's going to win this match. But before we get into that, I got to talk about last match. That last match was crazy close. I think the guys from UC Berkeley might have carried a little bit too much of emotion into that match. They might be a little bit too much celebration from them winning Heroes of the Dorm. They might have remembered that they paid off all of their college tuition. But anyways, enough of me bantering. Let's get into this match right now. Introducing first the blue team, the challengers. Come on out, guys. Come on out. Yes. Yes. All right, and the next team, the red team. Lowered Expectations, come on out. You know what? Let's not even start the match. Let's go talk to these guys and see what's going on with them. Hey, Jesse, how you doing, dude?
Where's Marky?
What was that?
Where's Marky?
How are you guys going to go against these guys? What is your strategy for this next match?
Marky. Abathur.
Who else?
And, I'm told not to reveal it. I can't tell you. I'm sorry.
All right, guys, you got a lot of pressure on you. I need you to take these guys down. I've been having nightmares about what they did to us at the BlizzCon Brawl, so I need you guys to step up to the plate and show them what's up. Do you guys have a strategy or something that you're going to be doing?
Well, definitely kill Jesse as much as possible.
You're going to target Murky the entire match.
Well, we're going to target Jesse. If he picks Murky, well...
He's going to pick Murky. You just said it.
All right, then.
All right, well, what about you? Who are you playing tonight?
I'm playing Muradin. Yes.
What's your strategy going out there?
Strategy is going to be going in, kill Jesse many times, then go in after the Jaina.
Okay, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Matt, I want to talk to you a little bit because you're kind of the brains, man. A lot of people don't know. You're pro. You're pretty pro. What's your strategy going out?
Well, I am the Overmind, so I'm going to be all over the place, dropping little bugs around and causing havoc.
Okay, okay. You know, Jesse wanted to rub some salt in my wounds, so he decided to grab one of my best friends and transplant them onto his team, Michelle Morrow. Michelle, who are you going to be playing today?
Joanna.
How could you do this to me?
Because I love you, but I felt like I love Jesse more today.
That stings just a little bit. Just a little bit. Anyways, enough of my banter. Let's go ahead and get into the match. I'm going to send it back up to the boys at the desk. Solid Jake and QB, take it away.
That's right. Thank you, Malik. And wow, what a ragtag group of folks we have here today. A little bit of trash talk between the two teams. Really cool to see that. I recognize a couple of the guys over on the Challengers team there.
Yeah, man, a lot of them have been, streaming a lot, creating a lot of content on YouTube, and it's awesome to see them here competing in Heroes of the Storm, but they're against the BlizzCon Brawl champions.
Yeah, that's got to be weighing a little bit in the minds of the Challengers. Let's get to introducing these teams. Let's take a look.
Well, it is going to be, of course, the Challengers versus Low Expectations. And captaining those teams, we have Andrew ZP's Rush. ZP's a very popular streamer.
Yes, and for Low Expectations, we have Jesse Cox, of course. Let's talk a little bit about the Challengers. We do have Serious Gaming, Kai Berries, Cobalt Streak, ZP's. Yeah, and ZP's, we've seen him quite a bit for some of the tournaments in Heroes of the Storm, moving through the alpha and the beta. Glorious Gaming, Evil Geniuses as well. So he's going to have some experience that's going to take the team far. I'm, assuming with the comms and everything, that should be pretty good.
Yeah, like you mentioned, he's been around since the start of the Heroes Alpha, which is actually over a year. That might seem insane. We've just hit launch, but Alpha's been going on for quite a while. He's got the experience, but on the other side, these guys are not new to the game, and we're going to see Low Expectations busting out some crazy strategies.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about Murky going in there. Lasercorn, I'll be playing with them. Jesse Cox, of course, Violov, Sohinki, and Sinvicta.
And Michelle Morrow, she actually hosted Heroes of the Dorm, so it's really awesome to see her here time and again. Again, all of these guys, very seasoned players when it comes to Heroes of the Storm, and I think we're going to see some very interesting drafts because if you guys don't know, Murky's a bit of a crazy hero.
Yeah, and if you're not practiced to play against him, yeah, that could be a bit of a problem. So we heard a little bit about some of their strategies, but I think maybe we can get into the draft and let's start seeing what those strategies are going to unfold to be.
Alrighty, well, the draft is up and running. And Kubi, we don't have the bans on screen, but
That's
I believe we know the bans were, in fact, ETC and Illidan.
Illidan, that's interesting. I have to say, I would probably point towards the Illidan. They really want to make sure that ZP's probably doesn't get on. I know that he really, really likes that hero, so maybe Low Expectations doing a bit of research. They're taking this serious. They want to make sure, yes, we have the Murky pick. Sinvicta is going to be on that hero. He is just a constant threat with that egg, respawning with that 5-second death timer, and he just is constantly putting pressure on the team. We'll have to see what the response is. But what do you even throw at a Murky? Like, that is just such a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to handle, but we do see Kael'thas. Now, he is the Fire Mage, a big damage dealer. The area of effect damage he has in general, very scary.
Sure, we saw that in the last series. He was, a key part in really turning some of those team fights, throwing to, okay, we heard about the Overmind, and Sohinki is going to be on the Abathur. Talked about making sure. Now, those two heroes in particular is quite scary. Now, they don't have a lot of body presence on the map, but the combination of honestly, Abathur, Johanna, and Murky is actually insane. Johanna, as we saw in that last game, is just super difficult to kill. And with the Abathur hat on her, you could get a lot of damage output there. What do you throw to... Oh, double support?
This is actually very interesting, rather uncommon. Having both Uther and Lily on a single team, the healing, the sustainability they have in general is going to be quite large.
Okay, and we still have 2 more picks for Low Expectations. Yep, there's the Jaina that we heard a little bit about before. And Lasercorn still needs to pick now. Okay.
Right, so Brightwing as a single support. This is a very mobile team. They have both Abathur, who can have presence across the map with his hat. He's a very unique hero that uses a symbiote ability where he sits on top of another hero. And oh my goodness, look at the final pick.
Okay, there it is, the Murden. We're going to have the warrior clash between Johanna and Murden. And I think the game is actually starting up. These guys are raring to go. We heard some of that trash talk, and they are excited. Are you guys excited? Yes, let's get into it.
I am. Now, the map is actually going to be Dragonshire, so mobility is going to be a big part of it. The bottom and middle lane are rather close together, but really having this composition with Murky, he's going to be constantly in your face. But without further ado, let's introduce the teams.
Let's get to it. Over on the left side, this is the Challenger team. We have ZP's on Murden. Cobalt Streak is going to be playing Kael'thas. SG Victoria is going to be on Lily. ZP's, yeah, we talked about him. Let's go down to the bottom lane. We have Kai Berries on Uther, and then it looks as though Alan's going to be on Vala.
And on the red side of the map, we do have Lasercorn playing as Brightwing in the top lane. The middle lane will be occupied by Michelle Morrow playing that new hero, Johanna. And in the bottom, it's going to be a trio push with Murky, played by Sinvicta, Jesse Cox on Jaina, and Sohini is going to be playing that Abathur.
I'm really liking the worm. Really well done. That's fun little stuff there. Okay, so we're talking a little bit about the combination. Now, Murky, again, he's going to be dying all the time. Like, you saw him just plant that egg down there behind the gate, and he's going to be constantly getting taken down and then thrown back into the fight. With Abathur hat on him, this means that he can take way more risks getting into these fights. And it's just like, you take him down, but then the Abathur hat comes back, Murky comes back, and it's just this constant pressure. How do you fight against that? And that just really goes to show some of the variety of the heroes that we have in Heroes of the Storm.
And you'll also notice that Abathur has those locusts that march down the lanes. With the additional pressure that he has on the map, he just kind of goes over. Every few seconds, one will spawn on its own, giving him that additional push while he hides behind the wall, because he is a very squishy hero. And if he hits you, if he slaps you, it's almost comical.
Yeah, that's right. And so he's a very, very different type of hero. And we'll see that little hat that's over Murky's head play a huge factor time and time again in these fights. And Volley, you know, a squishy hero is going to rely a lot on the Uther heals, at least to sustain this lane. Let's take a look up at the mid lane to see the warrior battle. It's going to be between Morrow and, of course, ZPs. Now, these two heroes, I got to say, they will be hitting each other a lot. Probably not a lot's going to happen between the huge health pools. And, of course, Muradin has that trait that heals him up so much faster when he's out of combat.
But that's the power of Abathur. He can come up there with the hat to help out Morrow in those kind of situations, to apply additional damage. But ZPs does rotate back, tap that will to stay nice and healthy. But even then, Muradin has the largest health regen in the entire game.
Yeah, we can see that Murky is dead, but you will see that time and time again. Well, let's talk a little bit about the map objective, of course. We are in Dragonshire. If a team is able to control both the top and the bottom shrines in the map, they can channel the middle temple and control the Dragon Knight. That will transform your hero into a really high HP sieging unit that is super difficult to take down and allows your team to push down that particular lane.
Oh, Jesse Cox is actually getting very bold here, going forward with that, and that is going to be Murky being eliminated once more. This gives him control of both shrines, and if they do manage to channel that Dragon Knight in the middle lane that you see there, they will get the power of that Dragon Knight, which is quite fearsome.
Exactly why we see the Abathur hat popping onto Jaina every once in a while. I want to make sure they have those additional hits to put pressure onto ZPs while the challengers are controlling both of the shrines.
Yes, but actually the bottom shrine has transferred over the way of Murky. He's just constantly in there pushing them back, and we can even see some of those tumors on the ground. Those are applied by Abathur. He's got such a diverse skill set where he puts abilities all over the map. He's everywhere at once, and we do have Volley getting very aggressive. The Dwarf Toss from ZPs, but no, the bubble will be enough for him to get out of there.
Safety bubble, such like another annoying little ability that Murky has. He can pop into that, make himself invulnerable for some time, but the Abathur hat is still on him and dealing damage, so that's a very interesting synergy like we were talking. Once again, though, both of the shrines are controlled by the challengers, and ZP is really looking for that opportunity to dash up and channel that to turn himself into the Dragon Knight.
Yes, there is the stun coming out from Muradin, just trying to buy some time, but again, Morrow is not going to give this up for free.
Right.
If he cannot channel that Dragon Knight, he cannot gain the power. And just really nice to have that presence constantly there out of the Johanna player.
Sure, yeah, she was quite low in mana though, so even a rotation from either of the lanes could prove to be quite devastating. Wouldn't even be able to activate that trait, which she relies on so much to get out. Lasercorn really trying to hold down this top lane, but as a solo healer, he's really going to have a hard time trying to contest it, so a lot is going to be put some pressure on the bottom lane for his team to be able to take out that bottom shrine.
Yeah, ZP is getting a little aggressive, just getting pulled in by Johanna. But again, bottom lane, like you mentioned, Murky and Jaina are doing wonders down there, constantly pushing in. They're starting to whittle down through the ammo of those towers, because when the towers run out of ammunition, it will regenerate, but it is quite slow.
That's right. And it's a very passive game, I have to say, so far. The control, yes, you're right. Yeah, High Berries is getting quite low, and there it is, the Murky just being absolutely obnoxious with that Abathur hat on, and they're going to be able to pick up the kill. First kill of the game, going to Team Low Expectations.
Now, trading out a Murky death, you do give a little bit of experience for when you fall as Murky.
Yep.
But trading out, you know, Uther, that's a huge play on their side. This gives him control of the bottom lane, and Alan has to be very careful using that vault to get out of there.
Man.
He'll be okay.
The synergies that we're seeing for Team Low Expectations, I really think that they probably put a lot into making sure that they knew that they could get these particular drafts. Really well done, and it's a type of strategy that we haven't really seen a whole lot in competitive play, but they're making a really good case for it.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, just very convincing play. The Murky Abathur, time and time again, applying so much pressure that's just hard to deny between the bubble and the shield provided by Abathur. Very well done.
Yeah, that's right. And I gotta say, one of the best ways to try to counter this, and we saw just a little bit ago, the egg and Abathur highlighted behind the gate. If you have a stealth hero or somebody that is able to get over there to try to take these out, if Murky dies without that egg, he's out for good for a full cooldown. And of course, Abathur with the really low HP pool, that could be a way that they try to deal with it. Maybe once some of the structures are fallen for the challengers, they might be able to execute these strategies.
Yes, but right now they have to respond to these giants. They're throwing those boulders from distance to the point where these towers are actually out of ammunition as well. So the defense needs to happen soon because they are falling quite low, and that will grant a lot of experience to the side of the blue team.
Very good point, but the zoning with Jesse Cox on Jaina, of course, and Sinvecta with the Abathur hat, that's just like, how do you even go in there? You're just going to take a lot of damage trying to take these giants down, and you're right, they were able to take out just about all of the towers and giving them that nice experience to try to catch up. They're actually a little bit behind at this point.
Look at this party bush! Look at this party bush! If you walk in there, the
with the
damage is there from Jaina.
Not quite. Sinvecta was not quite in position for, but that would have been a super hype kill.
That's a very cool play, and you have to constantly think about it. They want to contest this shrine, but they're setting up these traps that if you walk in there, you're going to take the damage. Uther has a lot of health, has the heals. He knows this is the case, and he wants to bait those out, but Sinvecta is getting a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, so they're just trying to posture and take this out. Meanwhile, though, in the top lane of the map, we're seeing a ton of pressure. Maybe a little bit more in the bottom lane. Yeah, okay, Jaina was actually taken out during that, but Lasercorn is just trying to fight this endless battle, and Lily with the heals is just able to keep Kael'thas up all the time. So the challengers, honestly, they're looking very strong, and once again, they have control of both shrines.
Yeah, Johanna there to deny the capture of that Dragon Knight if possible, but the rotation is here with Alan and ZP is both in the middle lane. The passive has been used by Johanna, but you can see it has just worn off. The stun comes out, and the sustainability of mana pool isn't really there. She has to leave here, and that should be a Dragon Knight on the side of the blue team.
Yeah, we also have the heroics that are available for ZPs and crew, and that is going to be a huge amount of push power. They're taking a very, very strong start to this game.
Yeah, the Dragon Knight, of course, is a massive bonus to that structural damage. You see how fast that fort fell? We're 6 minutes in the game, just about 7 minutes. And yeah, the denial of that punt, well done.
So cool. Yes, of course, activating that trade. Morrow still really low on that mana, so he's not going to be able to provide a huge amount of control. And actually, Kyberry's getting very low. We see the Octo Grab, and that is going to be another takedown for Team Low Expectations. A great way to deal with this Dragon Knight.
Yeah, of course, that is Murky's heroic ability, using that to lock him down, keep him in place, and the Dragon Knight will be eliminated after only losing their wall very close to this point in time. But the blue team, we have to point out, they have a full level lead right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, Lasercorn stepped a little bit past his bounds and is going to be able to stay alive. Yes, okay, using that blink heal. Might actually have a couple seconds to pull up the heroics tab. And let's just take a look at what some of those pickups are. We do have the Divine Shield. We talked about that a little bit last game. Following that is the Phoenix, I think. Strafe is going to be picked up for Vala. When we actually have a Jug with 1,000 Cups for Lily, so much healing. Avatar is going to be picked up for Muradin. Lots of heals. Jake?
On the other side, though, we have that Octograph from Murky that we saw. I believe that is, in fact, the evolution for Abathur. And on Brightwing, that's Blink Heal. We do have Johanna picking up her shield, and then it is going to be the Water Elemental for Jaina. A lot of control on the blue team.
That's right. Okay, well, let's get back into the action. We do have Jesse Cox and crew. They're looking to take some of these mercenary camps to get a lot of pressure across the map. These will push down in the top lane, and that's going to force the response from the challengers.
Yes, right now Kai and Alan are going to come down to this bottom lane. Again, the shrines currently are not active. They take a little while before they do respawn after the Dragon Knight has been summoned, but they will be active later in this game.
Okay, level 13 is very, very close for the challengers, and that of course is going to be a little bit of a power spike. They get new talents to modify their abilities at this level, and that might actually grant them the opportunity to try to take a fight. All the teams are still fairly split up. It makes a lot of sense for Low Expectations to do that so they can get that stoke to catch up. But maybe we will start to see some aggressive play from ZPs and crew.
Yeah, they're looking to make that happen. 20 seconds until we have the next spawn of the shrine. Compulsory getting a bit aggressive, throwing out that gravity lift, but it does not connect with Jesse Cox. He does fall back in time.
Okay, like you mentioned, those shrines are going to be popping up in just a little bit, so we're going to see how both the teams end up contending for these spots. Low Expectations, they can't take too many of those dragon hits. They defended very well, but if they give up another one, that's probably going to be a fort going down.
We can see those Abathur mines are going down on the left side of here just to apply a little bit of zoning and pressure, but Brightwing is actually taken down in the top part of the map. We do have Murky using the bubble to get out, but this is going to allow the left side to get a bit of aggression here in the top lane with that kill, and they're going in onto the top 4.
Of course, the later the game goes on, the longer the death timers get, and this is going to provide so much more opportunity for the challengers to take this down, and actually Uther is once again caught by the Octo Grab, and that is going to be another pickup for Low Expectations, but Jane ends up falling as well.
Yeah, 1 for 1 in that battle, and Uther, of course, remains in his ghost form, where he can continue to heal you in those battles. Water Elemental will be removed, and Morrow is waiting for the potential capture of the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, it's a big task for them to be able to defend, of course, but, you know, 1 hero down on each side. The positional advantage is well in the favor of the challengers, and it looks as though ZPs is looking to take this Dragon Knight. I don't see anyone nearby. He should be able to get it uncontested to push down the middle lane.
This is the second Dragon Knight in a row for the challengers. He's pushing out these minions, and then he will march towards that fort. Again, when you destroy enemy fortifications, you are awarded with experience, helping you push forward, and they already have a full level advantage.
Morrow looking to try to contest, maybe to peel, just to try to keep that Dragon out from their fortifications, but that is no easy task with that Flame Breath, and of course the Dragon Kick is huge. You'll see those heroes just get punted and fly away.
Yes, but that tower, look how fast it is falling. We see even Murky just under the feet of the Dragon Knight will fall rather quickly, and that wall has been completely eliminated. The mages in the back casting their abilities, the damage coming out, and the Murky Egg has been removed. So in this point in time, Murky has to be very cautious. If he is removed while his egg is down, he will have a full duration death timer.
That's right, and there's a lot of pressure. ZP is actually hopping over, is able to stun out the Jaina, and actually the Strafe gets eliminated immediately. Jaina does end up falling from the back line. Morrow is looking to escape with that Abathur hat, and Victoria is actually keeping the whole team up nice and healthy.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a really clutch flame strike coming out of Kale Foss. Last moment to eliminate that Jaina very easily. Actually, it's one of the talents that he has at level 13. Get an increased range on it. It's called Flamethrower, giving him so much presence in a battle.
That's right. A lot of control right now for the challengers, and we actually have the ultimate evolution. The Evolved Monstrosity is pushing down in the top lane as well, and that's just something, especially when the hat is on it, or we like to call it the hat, the symbiote ability that Abathur has, that provides a lot of pushing power.
And you can see he is just marching forward. He actually gets stronger as it eliminates minions, but getting hit by that keep, not ideal. It slows him down a little bit, and he's going to back up. We actually have the rotation here from both Killfoss and Lily, but he's going to just retreat.
Yeah, he'll be able to back up a little bit, at least force the positioning, but it pulled 2 of the heroes from the challengers back up, and that's just through the use of 1 heroic. That's not even a death for Abathur when the evolution, or the monstrosity ends up falling. So we actually see on the bottom side of the map, maybe a little bit of a scuffle brewing. Looks as though Morrow is just sort of keeping control for the fight for the rest of his team. With the Giants pushing, though, for the challengers, that might be an opportunity for them to get some work done.
Yeah, these Giants, they're going to get eliminated rather quickly. Murky does have that damage output to remove them, but you can see Sinvicta getting hit by that multi-shot of Vala will have to back up.
Okay, and it looks as though things have calmed down a little bit more. Both teams hitting level 16, so fairly even footing, a little bit of a stat advantage for the challengers. They're looking to take some of these mercenary camps to continue to apply that pressure. They're feeling strong. They do have the kill advantage. So what are we looking to see from Low Expectations to start turning these fights around, Jake?
There's a lot of things it can do now. They're actually just going to get some mercenary camps of their own. Brightwing using that bribe ability to pick them up. I think there was actually 4 bribes, Murky and Brightwing both using that. Getting the presence is great, but they really need to have a Dragon Knight. And look at the positioning on that Abathur, spawning a group of Locusts to help push that lane out. But really, the name of the game is picking up a Dragon Knight and getting that structural damage time to get back in the experience part of this game. But the gravity left onto Johanna with the Phoenix coming out. Morrow is going to have to retreat.
Look at that, though. With the healing from Lasercorn, she's lost no health. It just goes to show you how much of a sustained hero she is. Again, you mentioned this before, her damage output isn't quite high, but the control she offers is so paramount.
Frost shot coming out from Vala to help her escape, get back to safety. And the party bush is here. The stun comes out. The Dwarf Toss Stormbolt combo is there straight from behind. There is no interrupt available anywhere near, and the damage output is real, but the sustainability is actually ridiculous.
Just the brutal tankiness that Johanna offers is just, I mean, they're going to have to change their strategy. They can't keep leaping forward and trying to stun her out with the trait, yes, and then all while this is going on, she's stalling beautifully for Low Expectations. They're able to take out a fort, and even though the kill advantage is well in the favor of the challengers, the structure advantage is now even.
That's actually insane. That wave is massive, and especially with the Abathur Monstrosity pushing down that lane, it will get stronger as it consumes more minions over time.
Jesse Cox and crew looking to move forward to put some pressure onto Allen. And actually with the Octo Grab and the Envenom, that's going to be enough to take him down. That is another kill for Low Expectations.
Very nicely done. The Phoenix in a great position right now to just zone them out. But with Vola down at this point in time, there is definitely an advantage on the side of Low Expectations. They're going to push in 4 CPs out, and the top lane is still being sieged so very hard.
Devastating, yes. Every time Abathur pops up there as well, he's throwing out 3 or 4 of those traits that we talked about, the Locust doing so much damage, and now the control of both the shrines well in the favor of Team Low Expectations. They have to send heroes back to deal with this monstrosity. This might be a window of opportunity for them to take a Dragon Knight of their own.
But ZP's alone can't defend versus 5 members. He throws out a single Storm Bolt, and then he decides to leave. The Dragon Knight is picked up by Low Expectations, and they are going to get very aggressive with this.
Look at this, just marching in, the confidence that they have. They said, okay, we took that last team fight. Murky dashing forward. You have to respect that. It is on quite a short cooldown. They have to make sure they keep that in mind. And the Dragon, look at this, he's just pushing in. He's going to be able to take out this fort.
Yeah, I mean, this fort is actually just going to be dust in just a few seconds. 1 or 2 more hits, and it will be gone. There it goes, and he's going to continue marching in. There's another 50 seconds left on its duration, and Morrow is looking great in it.
Yes, continuing to take down. They're starting to work, and actually Cobalt Streak takes a ton of damage. Lily throwing down the Jug of 1,000 Cups to try to keep the team alive while they're defending this, but they're doing a lot of structure damage. Yes, Murky ends up falling, but again, not super consequential, but if Lasercorn ends up falling, that could be a big deal. They end up keeping Brightwing alive, but ZP's really far in the back line. The sustain on Brightwing is so good, and now Morrow, we're going to see that peeling for Brightwing, yes.
Yeah, using that heroic to actually use the stun and buy some time for Brightwing. Big plays, but we do have the Ignite on Brightwing. The heal comes out, just barely staying alive. Murky will fall once more, but that's the power of Kael'thas once he hits level 16. He gets Flamethrower at 13 for additional range. Then he gets Ignite, which applies that living bomb on you, and you'll see they're on fire for a brief period of time, taking a bit of damage, but when it explodes, the damage is massive.
That's right, so many close calls, but again, while all this was going on, we just saw the Abathur is pushing forward. He got the range on the Locust abilities, which allows them to really just siege up those fortifications along with the monstrosity. It's a scary thing that they have to constantly be thinking about and dealing with.
Yeah, this keep is completely exposed in the top lane, and as soon as they do eliminate it again, that will grant them some keeps, but Uther was taken down in the bottom lane, and Cobalt Streak does have to retreat.
Yeah, that's a scary position for him. That's a couple times now that we've seen Uther just picked off by that Octo Grab, and that's really, I mean, you're pulling out, yes, they have 2 healers on the team, but that's a lot of control with, of course, the Hammer of Justice, and not to mention the Divine Shield is going to be very critical.
All right, well, right now we do have a bit of a rotation. There are 4 Giants on the side of Low Expectations. They have that presence with the Mercenaries. So Mercenaries, yes, they push well, but they also apply damage, throwing boulders all over the battlefield. This is a very opportune moment for Low Expectations to take advantage of.
Yeah, like a pincer assault with the Giants pushing in from the top side, and we have the remaining members of Low Expectations just sort of poking and prodding. Lasercorn taking some damage, but Brightwing with that AoE sustain. Super good pick for this team.
Yeah, using, it's an ability called Gust of Healing. It makes her pulse heals around here. AoE healing for the entire team, specifically a lot for herself, really helps her sustain through those battles. But in the top lane, Abathur is just constantly there, summoning more Locusts with that monstrosity, marching out. Look at all of them,
He's able to get out in time. Actually, we saw ZPs, we saw them pinging up. They knew where Abathur was, and they wanted to try to get up there and deal with it. It looks as though Sohinki was able to hearth back in time to the Hall of Storms to get his HP back up and maybe wait for the cooldown of that burrow to get back to the forward lines.
And that's even just a little pod that will summon Locusts over time, continuing that aggression going in. But the Dragon Knight Shrines have spawned once more, 1 on the red team, 1 for the blue team, but Jaina, Jesse Cox looking to contest this.
So cool. This entire strategy of just like really sustained and annoying heroes just constantly going back and forth. The dive, ZPs is able to land the Storm Bolt. That's going to be enough control, I think. And they're locking down Jesse Cox, but he's able to keep his HP up. We saw the Storm Shield, but it's not actually going to be enough. Lasercorn is probably going to end up falling. The rewind wasn't quite there from
Pixie Dust is going to be enough for him to get out of there. That movement speed boost and the block that is applied, nicely done. But during all of this, Abathur, Murky, and Johanna, they're pushing across the map. So yes, they did get the 1 takedown on Jaina. They bought themselves a nice window, but the experience has taken the favor of Low Expectations for the first time.
Crazy confidence, but it looks as though the rest of the team from Challengers is looking to rotate onto Johanna, but she is able to get out in time. They didn't want to try to contest it, and we've seen this before. If you chase her too much, you end up wasting a lot of time because she is so tanky and is able to survive so many CCs.
But if a Dragon Knight is picked up once more on on the side of the challengers, this could be devastating. We're pushing towards that 20-minute marker, and the Dragonite gets stronger and stronger as the game progresses.
Yes, and it looks as though the challengers do have control of both shrines for the time being. Lasercorn with that sustain, and the Abathur hat on top is putting out a lot of damage onto Murd, and he might actually have to back up. That would break the control of the Dragonite for both teams. Cobalt Streak really looking to take up one of these late-game Dragonites.
Yeah, but look at that Phoenix. They're using that to zone out Mural, but Lasercorn is able to stop the top shrine before it is picked up. Nicely done by Low Expectations.
Okay, we see the Jug of 1,000 Cups popped. This might allow them to push a bit forward, and Morrow, very, very low, is able to get the shield just in time to keep himself alive. And the control of both the shrines, I think, is actually going back the way of Low Expectations. No, hold on. Cobalt Streak back in the top side.
But the range on that Blizzard going down with the Water Elemental, that's going to keep him slowed. The Gravity Lift in return. It is a mage battle going in. Bolt of the Storm by Cobalt Streak. He's going to get out of here.
Very nicely picked up with that bolt just to make sure that he stayed out in time. And actually, the control of the shrine goes to Low Expectations. Morrow just getting sort of picked out from the Vala. But Sinvicta with the Octograph! That's actually going to take him out. The Dragon goes the way of Low Expectations.
Huge plays by Low Expectations. They're marching in, and we mentioned these Dragonites get so powerful later in the game. This keep is in trouble, especially with one of their primary damage dealers, Vala, being down at this moment.
If they play their cards right and they're able to take out some more members, this could be disastrous for the challengers. I really got to give Sinvicta credit. He is finding the perfect opportunities to use the Octograph.
And if we just look at the top lane too, we can see that the Monstrosity is pushing in there as well. The pressure is real from Low Expectations, and both of these keeps are in trouble.
Yeah, which one do you defend? The Dragonite is such a serious threat. You know, post 20 minutes into the game, it scales and gets more and more damage as the game goes on. Lasercorn, he's able to get the blink kill off in time. He survives with just a bit of HP.
I can't believe it. Just barely staying alive. Both keeps have fallen, and the pressure is massive right now.
And it doesn't stop. This is going to be relentless. Now we have catapults pushing in both of these lanes. This crazy strategy that we're seeing out of Low Expectations is paying dividends.
It's actually just so incredibly interesting. The heals from Brightwing are being so clutch time and time again. We've even seen the utility from the Abathur hat use A for aggression, B for defense. The shielding provides such a versatile hero. Murky, he doesn't care if he falls time and time again. That's what he likes to do, because he'll just be born again, Murlocs.
That's right, and he's had this egg in this position for such a long time and has not been punished for it. ZPs and crews looking, okay, they found the egg. They're going to try to back it up, but it looks as though Sinvicta will be able to get out in time to replace this egg.
Yeah, we see that they've realized that they've been being kept in their base and pushed back for way too long. A bit of aggression, that's what they need to do, because if they can take a team fight, they can really swing this back in their favor.
Yeah, we've seen them set up a large amount of opportunities where they're able to leap in, ZPs gets the stun, and they're able to follow up to get a lot of damage, and they need to look for more of those opportunities.
But I gotta give the credit to Low Expectations. Their draft, their roster, it's very interesting, and they're showing it off. Look at this top lane. The catapults have made their way in, and the defense has to happen from Kilfoss, and we even have ZPs on Muradin defending the middle lane with Kai.
Double catapults in the middle lane, the bottom lane. They're looking to take these mercenary camps to continue the pressure. The Bruisers will provide just that. We have Abathur in the top lane. It's just all over the place, and they're forced to stay back in their base. The challengers, what do? You have to keep defending against these waves.
It's so very difficult, but with the shrine spawning in 20 seconds, they don't have an option. If the Dragonite is picked up for Low Expectations, the damage will be devastating at that point in time, and the defense will be oh so very hard.
Absolutely. Okay, continuing to take the mercenary camps, they realize they have this advantage, and they can control the positioning, sort of the not Low Expectations. The challengers needs to continually go back to the base. Look, they already have some waves pushing onto the core. They realize that they're able to move around and take mercenary camps, continue to hold pressure. Another Dragon Knight is available to be taken.
Yes, Jesse Cox on Jaina will pick up that top shrine, but the bottom shrine is being controlled by the challengers. We have Ellen there standing guard with Vala, but look at this ambush. The nest. There are so many Abathur mines waiting in place.
It's really smart. I mean, they know that the challengers need to keep control of one of these shrines, so it's smart. They just continue to push down the top lane, force some of the members back so that they can take an advantage team fight. This is exactly what's going on right here, and this will actually allow them control of both shrines.
All right, a bit of a preemptive Storm Shield coming out there, and this is an opportunity for ZPs to go in, but the Polymorph, the damage there, Divine Shield from Uther, and the Cups coming out from Lily. We have Murky down to this point in time. Here we respawn quickly, but the Flame Strike comes out onto Jesse Cox. The wind comes in, the damage, the explosion from the Ignite is going to pick up that that takedown, and Morrow has to retreat.
He was doing a really good job controlling for the fight, but wasn't quite able to keep Jaina alive. Murky falls once again. Morrow needs to stay alive. Lasercorn doing his best to keep him up. The pull, okay, it's not going to be enough. The flame strike almost enough to take him out. So Hinky continuing to apply pressure. Look at this huge push in the top lane.
They have to retreat. They have the hero advantage, but it doesn't matter because Abathur is on the other side of the map applying constant aggression.
That is crazy. And again, you know, they still have control of the top shrine. So yes, they lost a couple heroes in that last fight, but they should still be able to maintain enough control of the map, of the objectives to not give up another Dragonite.
Yeah, right now, Morrow, standing guard, wants to dissuade Allen from coming near the shrine, but the top shrine is still being held by the team Low Expectation. Murky, Brightwing, Abathur Hat, all in here. This is a dicey situation for Uther.
Look at this, trying to keep the team alive. Victoria, they realize this is a big deal. Okay, Murky is chasing, does have the Abathur Hat. I think that should be enough in time. No, he's able to self-heal to keep himself up. Murky, in the thick of things, not able to control CPs. He is moving forward. The Divine Shield onto Kaiberry's, trying to keep herself alive. Zinvecta now in trouble. We see the strafe with the Pierce on it, actually. Interesting pickup, and they're able to keep all the teams alive. Brightwing is down. That has been a keystone to their composition. Will this allow the challengers to push forward?
I think so, and Kubi, the double support is really shining there. The heals from Lily, the heals from Uther, surviving through even like a 2v3 situation there. Very nicely done, but the fact of the matter is that Abathur has never stopped. The wave is constantly there, and oh my goodness, you mentioned Johanna, the situation in the middle of the game. She is gonna end up falling.
She was way too far away from any of her structures. Yeah, the Iron Skin goes a long way, but 4 seconds with all the body blocking, not gonna be enough to keep her alive. The control of both the shrines still going the way of Low Expectations, so they have an opportunity.
The core is falling.
You're right,
that push from Abathur is actually taking out 15% of the health. Shields are gone, and the damage is done. That's permanent damage to that structure.
Yeah, so they might not always have the best team fight, but this pressure that is constantly being applied across the map is going to be something that weighs heavily on the challengers as we move forward.
Yeah, the shields will regenerate over time, and that is quite nice. But right now, both of those shrines have been picked up by the blue team. If the challengers can get that Dragonite, we're at the 26 marker. The damage will be devastating. But Brightwing and Jaina, they say none of that. We will defend this. Divine Shield is forced out.
Okay, a couple heroics have been traded out. Cobalt Streak and Allen are now back up in the middle of the... Okay, I really like the zoning there from the Phoenix. Really want to try to force control of the Dragonite. And honestly, at this point in the game, we're 26 minutes in. The Dragonite is fierce, and actually we see Brightwing taken down again. That is the healer, the sole healer for Low Expectations. This could be devastating.
Yeah, expending Brightwing like that just to defend the shrine, that's a minute before she is back up in battle. That is such a big timing that the challengers can make. And Jaina is getting very low.
This is huge.
Will end up falling.
Okay, they have control, or they're able to take back control of the shrine now. There's 2 heroes down. Johanna really looking to just try to get in, distract the team, and we have to keep mentioning this push from the Abathur in the top lane. Really cool play, just sort of being the MVP of this game. And just whenever there's a bad situation, he's able to just distract the enemy team and make sure that they're not able to capture the objective.
Oh my goodness, Vala has just fallen in the top. The Abathur mines were enough to pick her off. Nicely done. This is a situation where the challengers were in a great spot, but losing Vala here, they have lost that advantage.
And the double support is really good, but if someone gets bursted down really fast, you don't have the opportunity to kill him. CPs is actually expending a ton of his life and mana to try to defend this push. The monstrosity is really proving to be so useful this game.
He even had to use his heroic avatar to defend the push of Abathur. That's how powerful it is. In both shrines, again, in favor of Low Expectations. Jaina's still down for 10 seconds, but Vala is down longer. The Phoenix is in to push them back, but this battle is not yet done.
This is a bigger deal than it might look. With the keeps down on the side of the challengers, if they give up a dragon, that might actually be the end of it. 27 minutes into the game, the health pool for the dragon is insane. It hits for over 1,000, 1,500 damage onto the core. Like, it can't take too many hits of those. Even though you might have all 5 heroes up trying to contest it, that might actually just be the end. So we need to see the challengers put everything they have into this defense.
They need to make it happen, and they need to make it happen now. Abathur again just summoned another pack of Locusts. The shields are already quite low, 81% remaining on that core, but the fight is here. The Octograph goes down. Murky will fall very early, but that doesn't mean that much. The Phoenix comes out from Kael'thas. The stun on Jaina is huge. The combo is blocked by Muradin, but Jesse Cox, the Ignite,
Lasercorn!
It is enough!
Not able to keep Jaina alive in that last fight. He actually takes a lot of damage himself, but again, we do have those pushes going on, and Johanna is just able to stay alive every time. Kaiberry's in the double support. really keeping the team alive. So they don't have control of the Dragon Knight. And once again, they need to try to back up, control both of those shrines so that they can push in themselves.
But the challengers now have to, like you mentioned, rotate to both the bottom and the top lane to gain control of the shrines. That takes a long time to do. And during all of this, Abathur says, hey, I'm going to take out that bottom keep too so we get even more catapults.
Yeah, that's right. Having catapults at all 3 lanes, it just makes it such a scary situation, and even more things that they need to respond to. Once again, they need to try to get control of these shrines. They need to push this window of opportunity while Jaina is still dead, and I'm not sure they're moving fast enough. Oh, the Octo Crab, and it looks as though ZP's wind up falling. No!
Whoa,
No!
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it! That was so close to defense from Cobalt Street, coming in with the gravity lift to buy enough time and eliminate Murky. ZP's will survive with the use of his heroic avatar.
Really, really clutch play, but once again, I gotta mention the Octo Grab, the cooldown is only like about 60 seconds or so if they're able to stall long enough, especially through the use of that monstrosity, they might be able to pick another fight soon. It's just the power of Murky just being able to constantly respawn and put those threats forward.
But Abathur is actually in full retreat, laying down some mines to try to dissuade ZPs, but he is getting trapped. The flank is here from Bala. The evasion isn't going to be there, and that is the first fall of Abathur in this game. The split push, which has been so impactful for Low Expectations, is no longer available for the next minute.
But is this going to be an opportunity for them to take the Dragon Knight? We see the Water Elemental is thrown down. The Murky Octo Grab, that's going to be good. That is a hero down now on the side.
Oh, there it is! They pick up the Dragon Knight! We're 30 minutes into this game, and Morrow is marching straight to their core. She wants to end it.
He knows that it's going to be enough to end this game. Look at the high HP pool. ZP is wailing away at it and has only done a sliver of HP. 2 of the heroes are down for Low Expectations, punting him back into the core. I don't think they're going to be able to defend this time. Look how much damage it does to the core. I don't know if they're going to be able to defend it. So much HP left to the Dragon Knight. It looks as though Low Expectations is going to be able to take this.
Oh, we can't believe it. They're the BlizzCon World Champions. They're going to maintain their title as the Kings, and they take this victory with convincing fashion, Kubi. Congratulations and GG!
Wow, wow, what a crazy strategy we saw employed from Low Expectations with the Murky, the Abathur, the Johanna. Really, really nice play stuff. Again, we don't see this too often in competitive play, but I'm thinking about running this when I get home. Like, it looks like such a cool strategy.
Are you kidding me? I'm going to those computers down there, and I'm going to play as soon as this is over. We can see the Murky flaunting it, taunting it in their face.
A little bit of a mind game, I have to say, though. It wasn't actually Jesse Cox on Murky, so, you know, probably messed with their heads a little bit. They're like, well, we were ready for his Murky, not, you know, the other Murky. So it's just like really, really cool strategies. Really like to see how they were able to get, and just the constant pressure from Abathur. Got to give Sohinki credit. He really knew just the one time he was taken down. And if you can have that rotation constantly going between the top lane, the bottom lane, pushing, putting that pressure forward, it's a big deal, and it really paid dividends in that game.
I mean, a lot of that really just comes down to the constant pressure of Abathur, though. Every single time there was an advantage from the challengers, they would get on the map, they'd pick up that takedown, but they would have to respond to Abathur. The locusts across the map every single time and again. How do you counter that, Kubi?
I don't know. I mean, we talked about opportunities for them to try to get back and kill the egg, but there was really good placement for the eggs that didn't really end up getting punished. And then when it did get killed, he was able to back up. He really respected that, okay, we need to make sure we back up, get the egg in a safe spot. And some of those Octo Grabs, oh my goodness, they were devastating.
They really were. I mean, that heroic in general. You lock someone down, you lock them in place. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but it buys time to eliminate them. And if you set up one of his abilities, Pufferfish, on the ground, it takes a little bit to explode, but when it does, the damage is destructive.
Absolutely. So we saw the champions reign supreme once again. Really, really, really well played. Look at them just celebrating right there, just like, yeah. There's nothing. There's nothing. Just
wrecked. I think he was saying wrecked there, but there is the
he pulls up the Murky
once again.
MVP, I gotta say, between that and the Abathur, no one was expecting those strategies to come out in that game. Super, super well executed.
All right, guys. Well, we do in fact have another update with Luke. Let's see how his art is coming along.
Hey guys, that was a pretty amazing game. I always love seeing compositions like that. Friggin' Abathur and Murky, so much fun.
Yeah, that was really cool.
The art is coming along pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. Still got some shadowy figures in the background, getting a little less, maybe a little less shadowy now, but Lily and her Cloud Serpent are really coming along.
That guy's, he's Stitch's brother, right?
I gotta say that the Lily is looking really vicious with the fiery background there. It was just like puts together a really cool feel. I gotta say, something we're not used to seeing out of Lily.
Yeah, the Water Dragon too, one of her cool abilities in this game. You can place that on any hero on your team to apply additional damage, and really cool stuff. I'm loving the art direction with this.
Luke, tell us a little bit more about the feeling of this art as it's moving forward.
I really wanted to, as you say, show off Lily's more dramatic side, I guess you'd say. She's such a little sort of happy-go-lucky panda, but obviously she's in the Nexus. She's facing off against all of these other epic heroes, and I don't know, she gets the credit she deserves sometimes. So I wanted to play with that, and obviously we're getting into revealing some exciting new stuff, so I'm really throwing that in. The fiery backgrounds, leaning towards that, getting things going in that direction, which is a lot of fun to play around with, I have to admit.
It's cool. A little bit of a hint, maybe, for what's to come. That's really cool to see that little shadowy figure in the background. Very ominous. Cool stuff.
Setting the stage, yeah, like you mentioned, for what's to come. But you know what, guys? We are ready for yet another interview. Thank you so much for the update, Luke. We'll see you again soon. And Malik, take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. That last match was crazy.
Yeah, they're never going to let you let that down, man.
I know, man, I know. They're just too good, too good. But anyways, Anna, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I've been trying to watch some matches in between running back and forth. It's been amazing.
Yeah. So I hear in addition to being a wonderful host, you're also the member of a gamer group called Miss Clicks.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about that and a little bit about your guests who you've brought here for us today?
Absolutely. Well, Miss Clicks is a community and a live streaming network, if you will, that kind of came together in order to uplift and provide support for female role models in geek and gaming culture. So lots of shows that just have a female presence on them. And Eye on the Storm is our show that we co-host together that is built around Heroes of the Storm and all sorts of fun stuff that have to do with the community and the game there. And this is my co-host, JC, a.k.a. Gillyweed.
JC, Gillyweed, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm having a fantastic time here, getting to meet everybody who loves Heroes as much as I do. I got an Eldruin's tattoo. Pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my Brightwing shirt, so I'm ready to go.
Excellent. So can you two tell us a little bit more about the show and where the people out there watching and everyone here can find it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the show streams weekly on Thursdays at 7:15 p.m. Pacific. So you can watch live. You can also find all sorts of information about the show as well as where to find the VODs on YouTube by following Miss Clicks on Twitter. There's no C in Miss Clicks, MISSCLIKS. So you can find Twitter for Miss Clicks is the best place to find it. You can also find us on our personal streams as well and personal Twitters.
Yeah, and we're actually also involved with Heroes Hype, which is an organization that provides a lot of esports and community recaps, even a calendar of upcoming esports events. And we provide a YouTube show for them with recaps, and we also cast their amateur series, which is a tournament where people can make teams and be able to come in and play and experience the competitive Heroes atmosphere. I've also been able to cast other things like the Chinese Storm League, and so we're going to be casting lots more things too. We love to cast, and the best way to make sure to find us is to follow us on our personal streams and our personal social media like GillyweedSC2 and Anna Prosser.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about the show, it's really, really fun. We hope you'll come join us. It was built out of the idea that we wanted to learn more about the game ourselves, and so it developed into a place where we have a guest on who's a pro gamer or a developer or a community member, and they will discuss the community with us as well as gameplay, usually give us some strategies to follow and a build, and then we end the show by gaming together and playing a match of Heroes.
Excellent. So JC, you've been casting for a while.
Yeah.
What did you think of the matches earlier? Were there any key moments that you saw in any of those showdowns?
What I really liked about these matches is that we got to see the variety of different types of compositions that you can have with the team. In the first match, we saw this very bursty, damage-heavy composition from Maelstrom versus a very sustain-heavy, even vision-focused composition from Berkeley. And so it really came down to the Void Prison and whether they could spot out where Zeratul was going to be and try to stop that before it happened. But in the end, Maelstrom was able to get that awesome Void Prison that really clinched it for them. And even in the second match, we got to see a really push-heavy composition with the Abathur and the Murky. So like even if the low expectations lost a team member, our challengers had to go back and defend their base instead of pushing. So it's just really cool to see all of the varieties of compositions that you can have in Here's the Storm.
Yeah, that Abathur was very sneaky, just going down the lane. No one was paying attention. It was kind of surprising. All right, so can you guys tell us anything that's coming up next for Miss Clicks?
Yeah, well, we actually, our Eye on the Storm won the Blizzard Community Stream Award. We got second place in the community show. Yeah, so we actually got some prize money from that, and we have been putting it back into the community. So the first thing we've done with it is we've sponsored the Heroes Hype Amateur Series Beta Finals, had a little bit of a prize pool for that as an ending to that amateur series.
Yeah, and we're going to continue using that money that we won to invest back in the community because really it's your money. You guys are the one that voted for us. So we're going to invest that in an event that we've been actively working on, but we're not quite ready to announce yet. But that has to do with Eye on the Storm. And then also in terms of Misclicks in general, Misclicks is actually recruiting shows right now. So if you have an idea for a gaming related show or a geek culture show that has a female presence involved in some way, be sure to let Misclicks know because they're looking for more new shows. And you can find that more information about that on their Twitter.
Excellent, excellent. So you two seem to always have your finger on the pulse of what's going on in Heroes. Do you have any idea what we're getting ready to find out today?
Like, I have no idea, but there were some things in the last BlizzCon that were Diablo related. So I'm really hoping that we're going to see a little bit of that.
I think you're going to find out really soon because I know Kaeo is coming up next. So I'm really jelly that you get to talk to him. I'm going to run so we get to find that out sooner.
All right,
so
cool, cool. Well,
thank you guys.
Thank you guys very much for your time. And looking forward to more content from you two.
Thanks.
Yeah, give him a hand, guys. Give him a hand. Where's my homie Kaeo at? Kaeo, come on up.
I'm coming.
All right, how you been doing, man?
Very good. This is so much fun. Such good games already. It's been a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
You ready to do this?
Let's check out some new stuff.
You guys want to check out some new stuff here?
All right.
All right, all right. All right, I've been itching in my britches to know what's coming up next for Heroes of the Storm. Come on, let the people know what's going on.
All right, so you know, we've been bringing in a lot of heroes and battlegrounds over the course of alpha and beta. It's something that we've been doing in various intervals. Sometimes it's taken longer, sometimes it's taken shorter amounts of time. We're really moving into a phase now where we're trying to get more content in the game more quickly. We know how much you guys want it. We really want it as well. We think the game is dynamic and it changes as we add new stuff to it. So we're kind of taking a different approach with this next batch of content that's coming in. And we're trying to bucket it up into a group of content that's themed similarly. And we'd like to introduce you know, the beginnings of this today. And this is something that we're calling the Eternal Conflict. So Eternal Conflict, yeah. All right.
All right.
So,
yes.
So Eternal Conflict is the Diablo world coming to the Nexus. So, you know, you've seen us bringing in Nexus worlds. We hear so much about where are the Blizzard IPs, why aren't the Blizzard IPs coming in? Right. We've always wanted to bring them in, and the Diablo world is the first one that we're going to be bringing in. We're really excited about it. Our team has worked extensively on the Warcraft series, on the StarCraft series. We've brought a lot of Diablo heroes into the game so far, but they're definitely underrepresented. We're excited to bring a lot more in, and the Eternal Conflict is going to be our way over the next couple of months of bringing in multiple heroes, multiple battlegrounds to celebrate the world of Diablo.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to get my hands on that. Diablo was actually like my first exposure to Blizzard, so this one really hits close to home. So I gotta know, are you gonna show us any heroes, or what's the new, tell us about the first battleground.
All right,
how about that?
All right, let's get into the first battleground.
Yeah, let's do battleground.
You guys probably remember at just this past BlizzCon, at the very end of our panel, we teased a concept piece by Peter Lee. I think we have it here, we can get the concept piece up, that was this kind of vision of
that's awesome.
Yeah, what might it look like if you saw you know, the high heavens and the burning hells from Diablo coming into the Nexus? So we kind of went from that concept. We're really trying to stay true to this idea of the eternal conflict, the ongoing battle between the high heavens and the burning hells. And so the first battleground, we're happy to show now what it actually looks like today. And let's take a look at how it's coming along.
Woo.
So our art team and our tech team, our engine team have really outdone themselves. They've actually created a tile set and a battleground here where we have two completely unique tile sets in one. So you do have the full heaven side complete with minions, the full hell side complete with minions. You see that center area there, there's some stuff going on in the middle that has a very unique mechanic on it that really changes the way the game plays. You can see they've really outdone themselves. They've been very excited to bring the world of Diablo into the Nexus.
This is awesome.
And again, this is just the first battleground as part of Eternal Conflict that we're going to bring in.
All right, so that was the first battleground.
Yeah.
Who's the first hero that's going to be making an entry?
All right, so we've like I said, we have Diablo heroes in the game. We just brought Johanna in, so you kind of seen how amazing the new Diablo heroes can be. Yeah. The next one is taking a little bit of a darker turn. I think this is something that people are going to be pretty excited about. I know we are. And the next hero coming into Heroes of the Storm is going to be the Butcher.
Whoa! Oh, snap.
So the Butcher is actually a melee assassin. So he's a big guy. He does terrible, terrible damage. But he's a little fragile, but he has some pretty interesting things in his kit that let him have some stuns and some engagement tactics. He also has a very unique trait that allows him to build his damage output. He also has abilities that let him reclaim health from people that he's attacking. We'll dig into it a bit more here in just a second, but he is a formidable, terrifying opponent on the battlefield.
He looks like he has a serious craving for fresh meat.
He does indeed.
Yes, indeed. Well, so we're going to get to see this man in action pretty soon?
Absolutely. We're actually going to jump right now into seeing both the Butcher in action from a shoutcast. We're going to have our own Tim Frazier and Kevin Johnson that are going to cast over a match of the Butcher. And then we're also going to get into the first time anyone's ever seen this first battleground, which is called the Battlefield of Eternity. We're going to see a game on that as well. So let's check it out here.
All right, let's do it. Let's kick it up to Kevin Johnson and Trixler. Take it away, boys. Let's see this.
Thank you so much, Malik. That is right. My name is Kevin, and to my right, Mr. Tim Trixler Frazier. Tim, how are you doing, man?
Dude, Kevin, I'm so excited. Finally, we're going to be showing off a new hero. The Butcher going to be coming out pretty soon, but boy, is he terrifying, and he can lock down opponents like crazy.
Absolutely. We got a first look at this for you guys. Let's take a look at it right now, and what an honor to show this content to you for the first time. Here he is, the Butcher. As Kaeo said, this is a melee assassin. He is horrifying. Unlike a big hero like Stitches, this guy deals incredible damage. Let's take a look at his abilities. On the left side, Hamstring. This one deals damage and slows enemies who are in front of you, in a sort of a rectangle in front of you. And we're gonna see this in game real quick. Below that, Butcher's Brand. This is a debuff that can be applied to an enemy or minion that allows the Butcher to take health back as he's dealing damage.
And it's doubled on heroes, by the way. So he gets 150% of the damage that he does turn into life steal that actually heals him up. And then Ruthless Onslaught is how he starts engagements. He actually charges across the map based on whoever he picks and will actually stun them if he does hit him. So pretty darn strong. And then, of course, his heroic abilities, Kevin. Oh my gosh, they are crazy. Man. Lamb to the Slaughter is amazing. You throw down a nice little a little point in which someone will be chained to that hitch there and actually hold them down. They can't get away. They actually be, if they try to run away, if you see like Illidan maybe sweeping strike or hunt away, he gets pulled all the way back actually to that chain post. It's insanely strong.
Yeah, it's kind of like that horror movie come to life. The Butcher chains you and essentially you become his plaything. Yeah. He's going to take you down. His other heroic, of course, is called Furnace Blast. If you've played Diablo 3, you know about this ability when you experience the Butcher at the end of Act 1. It's an AoE fire effect. He can take it with him until it actually bursts. You're going to see, we actually won't see that in the game this time, but you know, you'll be able to check it out very soon. And of course, his trait, Fresh Meat. This is, again, part of his fantasy is that like scary hunter. This guy, when he takes down minions or heroes, he can collect fresh meat from their remains, essentially. Minions deliver 1 piece of fresh meat, heroes deliver 3. Every time he takes one in, he increases his attack damage by 1%. So we're going to see some interesting strategic play out of players who are trying to make the most out of that.
This is one of our heroes that's very farmy-esque. Actually, you'll have to be in lane and actually get some fresh meat to get a little bit stronger to move into the mid-game. Then, of course, you do have some high-risk strategies that you can pull off. You can roam a lot and try and kill off heroes to grab more fresh meat and get stronger. So he's one of those selfish heroes that wants to kind of be in the early game, floating around lanes for a little bit, and then in the mid-game, he'll start charging down people and, of course, taking them down. Now, we're going to show you actually how strong the Butcher can be, especially when a comp is built around him on our map, Tomb of the Spider Queen. So I'm ready to jump in, Kevin. How about you?
I am too, man. I think we should do that. Before we do that, a couple caveats. This game was pre-recorded on a developer build at Blizzard headquarters, so you are going to see a little bit of some rough edges potentially, maybe some bugs, things like that. We just want to call that out, as well as the fact that the players playing these matches not quite at the same caliber as the pros we've been seeing today.
Yeah, we're not C9 Maelstrom. We're not Jesse Cox, unfortunately. We're not as good as him. But this is all in good fun. We just want to show off a new hero to you. So with that being said, let's do it. Let's jump in it.
Let's go. All right, Tomb of the Spider Queen here. Our blue team is going to be host to our star here, the Butcher. We're going to spend most of this game looking at his abilities, watching the team play around him. So yeah, that will be the blue team. Of course, this map, an interesting one. We'll talk a little bit about the mechanics just so those who are new to the game know about it. You're going to be collecting gems from the minions as well as heroes when you take them down, turning those gems in at various points in the map to support. Get the help of the Spider Queen, who will essentially send these powerful minions down the lane to push on your behalf.
That's right. And remember, the comp that we built here for the Butcher is on the Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's ideal for having the Butcher start an engagement. You have Jaina follow up in terms of damage, and if Valla needs to, she can follow up. And then, of course, you have Uther for the Divine Shield to allow the Butcher to be that aggressive and roam around. So we'll keep an eye on them here. The opposing team, we wanted to show off a hero that some want to see some nerfs to, Illidan, as some people were like, hey, Illidan's a little bit strong, he's Skillidan. We're going to show you how strong the Butcher can be at locking down a hero like Illidan.
Absolutely, totally terrifying. And even here in the early game, we're going to see just how strong the Butcher is out of the gate with some early takedowns. But here we are, just early startup for this this game. What would a Butcher player be thinking about at this point in the game, Tim? Clearly, you talked about trying to make the most of his trait, fresh meat, farming up attack damage.
Yeah, the early game's all about that protein. You see the little red drops there, those little teardrops? That's the fresh meat that he has to pick up, and he can stack them up, I believe, up to 25 unless you get a talent, which allows him to really move that damage up. And here you go. You see Ruthless Onslaught stunning the Illidan right away. Jaina bringing the damage, and Uther as well. Illidan can't get away. Immediate takedown. That's 3 blood stacks, or meat stacks here for the Butcher, so a total of 6 already on his kit.
Yeah, you also saw that X that sort of looked like a, I don't know, some sort of tear on Illidan. That is the Butcher's brand debuff we talked about, which allows the Butcher to receive health back as he's delivering damage. So again, once he gets on top of you and he places that debuff down, he's receiving health. It's like he's able to just stay in the battle and deal damage until you're essentially gone.
We just saw Diablo being taken down, another Diablo character immediately, and you see here, we're in the middle lane. Watch this Ruthless Onslaught on Sylvanas, player 6 here. He's going to pop his Z, he's going to start charging in. Look at him run an immediate stun after Uther, and just like that, an immediate kill right away. Illidan going to be forced to retreat, and you can see how deadly the Butcher can be if you're by yourself. He's meant to be terrifying.
Yeah, Ruthless Onslaught, one of those abilities that has a huge cast range. I mean, you will see, and it actually can be talented to increase over the course of the game, but you can see him covering so much ground with it. There goes Diablo, early takedown again for the Butcher. That's 3. Just, we're not even 2 minutes into the game.
For those of you at home that if you do play Nova and you play triple tap, it's about that range, a little bit shorter, but that's how far the Butcher can run. It's actually enough to where if Valla picks up the talent that's double vault, she can barely, just barely get away from the Ruthless Onslaught. It's long for a reason. It's because we want the Butcher to catch his targets.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to talk to the developers about this hero and sort of the fantasy built around him. They wanted it to be the kind of hero that if you saw him, you were worried for your life. Like, if you actually got even a glimpse that he was near you, you could potentially die.
And there you see him doing mercenary camps. He's very strong at dealing with mercenary camps just because of its debuff, the Butcher's brand. He's able to heal while taking the damage out, and he's able to do these Siege Giants by himself at level 4. So for those of you that like the jungle, that like to roam around a little bit, this is a guy that you definitely want to pick up.
Absolutely. Now, Tim, looking at the blue team's composition, are there particular strategies you feel like they would be smart to implement around Butcher play? What would the blue team be thinking about in order to maximize the potential of the damage from this hero?
Well, it's the comp right here. It's right now in the early game, it's all about the Butcher and Jaina. Those two could actually be together and roaming together, but right now you see Jaina by herself, and unfortunately she might get picked off here as you see Illidan diving in and going crazy. The Butcher does run on in, but he is outnumbered, and this is a display on how fragile he can be. He looks like he's in a solid position, but left alone here with Tassadar, Rhaegar, and Illidan, you see him just taking so much damage, and Illidan eventually will be able to clean him up. You have to be careful with the Butcher. And by the way, whenever he does get taken down, he loses all of his stacks.
Absolutely. Very important to note that. So he is a fragile hero and one who, it's that risk-reward thing. You need to constantly put on the aggression, but if you lose, you're farming all of those stacks. And by the way, it does stack to 25, so it's a pretty significant amount of time before he is at his max damage capacity. You will lose it all. Now, granted, there is an ability in the Butcher's kit at level 7 called Abattoir, which allows him to at least hold on to 50% of those stacks. So you can talent to hold on to them.
Yeah, you certainly can if you want to be careful. And right now, the blue team has kind of fallen away from their strategy. They're not staying with the Butcher here, but the Butcher now is going to turn around. He's going to use Ruthless Onslaught. There's a stun there from player 5, but here we go. Player 2 charging in, going to try and slam down that Illidan. Hamstring does slow down any opponent hit in it. You see Illidan picked off once again.
That's a lot of kills on Illidan.
That's right.
As a result of this Butcher. So I'm sure that Illidan players are a little bit frustrated at this point, but hey, that's okay. It's nice to see that there's someone who can counter him.
That's right, man. So at this point, you see the blue team a little bit ahead here. They want to try and start getting pressure on the map, maybe get those turn-ins available to them so they can start roaming as 5. Because once you start roaming as 5, that's where the Butcher can really just bring it in, especially with ETC being on this comp. He's so good at peeling and also applying the lockdown. There's so much CC here for the blue team that they could really start utilizing it with a great push here from the Spiders.
Absolutely. Of course, the blue team taking their time on this battleground to get get some turn-ins here.
Illidan, go away.
Yeah,
Don't go in there.
Yeah, don't go in there. We need to get some work done in here. So there's a turn-in. We talked about this earlier. If you're new to Heroes of the Storm, this is the objective for Tomb of the Spider Queen at work. They've turned in enough gems to recruit the support of the Spider Queen. You're going to see 3 Web Weavers spawn and push in the lanes in support of that aggression for blue.
Now, the good thing here is as we do see this map mechanic happening here is the blue team is moving towards level 10. That's where you're going to see the heroic lamb to the slaughter, which again is a little stake point that you put into the ground, and whoever is near it is actually chained to that hitch. And so your team has to defend, or you're most likely going to die if you're by yourself, as we'll see. And their target here is to just lock down Illidan as much as possible, because he's the guy that's aggressive and really getting in melee range.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we did get to talk a lot about Furnace Blast. It is the other option for Butcher, which we don't see picked in this game, but interesting combos available there with that heroic. You can use Ruthless Onslaught to charge across the map and trigger your heroic at the same time, and that heroic will travel with you as an AoE effect that will essentially land or hit when you strike your target.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, it takes 3 seconds for the Burning Furnace to actually go off, and so you want to do it in the middle of a Ruthless Onslaught and try and combo that. So yeah, Kevin, there is definitely a lot of potential here for those that want to do that, but here we have the fight.
Look at this.
The Butcher is going to charge on in, trying to cause a little bit of aggression here, is going straight for player 9, Illidan just in trouble. He's trying to kite back. Butcher getting low though, but with that debuff, he's able to heal just enough for Uther to actually follow up and save the Butcher, and he's going to walk away just barely. But you can see he almost was taken down. He's very fragile. With very good team focus, you can counter the Butcher, but again, with great team focus on your side, you can get rid of people like Illidan.
Yeah, absolutely. Another takedown for Illidan. I'm sure he wants his revenge, and I know we're going to see a little bit more of those attempts from Illidan to take Butcher out later in the game. Butcher, again, we're in this mid-game. He just got his heroic, so we're going to keep an eye out for that Lamb to the Slaughter, which he did just pick. Right now, just going to clean up these minions here against the red, pushing in that
fresh meat right there,
yeah,
man.
Fresh meat indeed.
So he's going to go ahead and farm up and try and grab all of that. And now they're going to want to have a team fight pretty soon here before the red team does get to level 10 themselves. They're going to try and get some turn-ins available and try and get that advantage and push it to their advantage in any way. And you see Jaina starting to realize that she needs to stay near the Butcher here because they have a deadly combo together, especially with these heroics. So watch out here for Tassadar here in the middle.
Absolutely. Blue team getting another turn-in with those gems. I don't think they quite have enough to get the Web Weavers at this moment. Red team trying to just clean out these minions in the bottom lane and figure out how to get a better handle on this game. The red team is sort of slipping in terms of their control here.
Yeah.
Blue controlling the map, doing a really good job of that, utilizing the Butcher strength.
Oh, actually, we had Lamb for the Slaughter in the top right corner. We actually saw Diablo, I'm sorry, Rhaegar getting caught. You see how he's just kind of pulled back over and over. You cannot get away. For 4 seconds, you are locked down, so you either have to turn around and fight or accept that your doom is probably coming. And we have, so one member being fallen down, Diablo in trouble as well. The Water Elemental trying to chase him down. It looks like he will be saved, but you see them kind of sharking around right now, using the advantage. But the red team is about to move to level 10. They're going to get that silencing arrow, which will be helpful against the Butcher.
Absolutely. Those heroics really, really important to stack up and build strategy around. Here we see more turn-ins for the blue team. This is, again, not quite enough. Actually, no, it is. They do secure the support of the Web Weavers. They will spawn and push the lanes for them. Red team needs to figure out how to get back in control of this game. 2-level difference right now in support of blue. Butcher here continuing to farm up fresh meat and figure out how to make the next move. Red team just securing level 10 and grabbing their heroics. So now they're going to feel more confident to enter those team fights.
Yeah, so now we're going to have some engagement from them. They'll be able to, they can actually start the fights pretty well with Illidan having Metamorphosis and really trying to use that ability to jump in on top of somebody like Jaina or the Butcher. Of course, even getting Hollow would be great here too. So now we have a fight. Yeah. There goes a Force Wall. Illidan a little bit trouble down in the bottom left corner, and player 2 is actually getting pretty weak. The Butcher is going to be forced to pull back, and we now have ETC by himself. But the Divine Shield is enough to save him there, and the rest of the blue team's going to be forced to pull back. But you can see the red team does have strong team fight now.
Absolutely, and Illidan unable to really make much work out of that Metamorphosis heroic due to that support from Uther. Nice play by him with the Divine Storm, or Divine Shield. And blue team moving towards the bottom lane to continue to put pressure on this outside fort. And Diablo, man, he's interested, waiting in, a little out of position. Butcher charging. There's the debuff from the Butcher Brandon, just taken out so quickly.
I want to know, player 2, the Butcher, was at half health. After 2 auto attacks, he's almost full health there from that lifesteal. Really utilizing that to his advantage, bringing that mark there from him on the W. It looks like Tassadar's going to be able to get away just barely here, even with the Water Elemental chasing. But again, the blue team really taking the advantage on this map and moving back and forth.
Absolutely. And now what should the red team be thinking? They're playing against the Butcher. Tim, what is their defensive strategy? Clearly the Butcher's been dominating in this game, securing a lot of kills. What with the composition of red, should they be thinking about doing to counter that?
Well, honestly, they want to start grouping up because, again, the red team does not ever want to be by themselves. One person in the top lane, two in the middle, one on the bottom is prime pickings here for the Butcher. So you group up, make sure that you're defending lanes appropriately as you rotate between the maps because they are smaller lanes. And from there, you can do pretty well. And try and get pickups like this. You see Bala by herself is forced to run immediately. They do have the damage and they have the potential, but now the Butcher by himself is running in, needs to be careful. He's going to start pulling back. Illidan diving in, but they are close enough to the turrets. And
there it is.
There's the Lamp of the Slaughter grabbing Illidan. Look, the rest of the team starts running away. You have to turn around and help Illidan there. He gets slammed down, and now this allows the blue team to keep chasing here because really the main damage, the main comp here is for the Illidan double kills with Tassadar and Rhaegar.
Red team's just scared of the Butcher, man. They see that post go down, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's too scary. We got to run away. Poor Illidan taken out in just like 2 hits.
You have to be on point when you're playing against this guy because he does punish those that are out of position. So now with this push coming down, the 5 middles down the middle, they could probably grab this for if they would like to, as Diablo won't be up for another 10 seconds, and the Butcher is just going to lead this charge here. Now, the good news for the red team is if they stay a little bit too late, they could turn this fight around. You see player 9 running in, going to try and jump on Bala here. She's low on HP. There's a Metamorphosis, so one member's going to fall, and they could potentially turn around on the Butcher here. If they can kill him, they're going to take out a stack. So now the Butcher trying to retreat. You can see how fragile he is here, taking a lot of damage from all of his opponents, but it looks like we're gonna have Uther show up. Nice Divine Shield, and Lamb to the Slaughter is up here, so Illidan has to be careful, or the Butcher could run.
No.
There it is. Look, he's gonna try and flip out of here. It gets pulled back immediately. You cannot run away from that thing.
Oh man, poor Illidan just getting locked down again. Salty Illidan in this game.
A little salty. He's definitely a bucket of popcorn right now, as the Butcher is just chewing him apart, and now Tassadar and Diablo are forced to retreat because they have no damage on this side of the map right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Red team just trying to figure out how to get back in control while the blue team secures a lot of turn-ins here. This actually, nope, it won't quite be enough for the Web Weavers, but sure is a lot of drop-offs here for them. They're really close. It looks like 15 away from the next Web Weaver spawn. The red team just trying to figure this out. Diablo kind of caught out of position again, trying to sort of fight it up with Uther and ETC. Vala coming in to support with some damage, but it looks like they are just going to back off. They need to get their confidence back to figure out how to get back in this game. The Butcher's in their head and got them shaking in the shoes.
Yeah, they're going to try and get 13 for now. That way they can be a little bit closer in terms of levels. And if they want to, they would fight before the blue team hits level 16. At level 16, the Butcher has an ability that he can pick up that allows him to have more attack speed. Right. So whenever he puts down the branding mark, he's able to attack that opponent with much more attack speed than before. So he's bringing the damage and he's hitting them pretty quickly. So they want to get there before that happens. But the blue team, knowing they have so much map advantage, they have so much map pressure because the red team is very terrified at the moment because of the Butcher roaming, they're just going to grab this golem for free.
Absolutely, man. That boss, such an important mercenary on a map like this, can deal so much damage and is going to be pushing in that top lane. And it looks like they're going to definitely secure this fort here, getting them ever closer to the core of the red team. So bad situation here for red, but red is taking the opportunity to turn in their gems before they get into the next team fight. Because of course, if they get taken out in a team fight, those gems can be lost and sacrificed in the game. So nice opportunity by them to at least take advantage of the objective. And man, Diablo again caught. Lamb to the Slaughter on Diablo. Butcher trying to take him out quickly. Shield down on Butcher as well, just to anticipate the counter damage. But it looks like Diablo will fall, and Sylvanas just trying to get away with her life, but you saw him. Ruthless Onslaught just taking her out as well.
The red team getting a little bit too antsy. They're wanting to lock down the Butcher, and they had him locked down, but the Divine Shield from Uther was so strong in being able to keep the Butcher alive just long enough for him to heal up and also allow his teammates to show up and bring the Reign of Vengeance. So the red team forced to pull back because they lost Sylvanas, and again, they just gotta kind of work together and bait out those heroics. They want to see Divine Shield be used first, and they also want to use Lamb to the Slaughter to their advantage. They want someone to get locked down, but when that lockdown happens, they turn around and fight immediately.
Yeah, blue team grabbing another set of Web Weavers. Butcher picking up these bottom siege camp as well to push in their support. Man, here they're getting all of the support of this map. Mercs, Web Weavers to continue to push, and they're essentially sitting at the front gate of the red team. Red team really trying to figure out how to get back into an offensive position.
ETC wanting to dance, man. Is going to go ahead and pop out the mosh pit, but that might be good for the red team. They're able to turn around here and maybe potentially pick somebody off. Player 4 is in trouble. Player 9 now going for the chase. It looks like Illidan and Sylvanas wanting to bring something in, but the Butcher does show up, so they're forced to deal with these Web Weavers first. But it is good to know for the red team that mosh pit is down.
Absolutely. You can't blame ETC for wanting to celebrate. This game has launched, Tim. We're all very excited did. So it's nice to see some celebration there. Meanwhile, Web Weavers push in the top lane and the bottom lane, all 3 lanes, but red team is cleaning them up quickly. And here we see a huge team fight here in the bottom lane.
The blue team realizes that it was a 5v4. Lambda Slaughter goes down immediately on Rhaegar. He's locked down. Even jumping into Ghost form won't allow him. And for you at home, the only things that can actually break Lambda Slaughter,
right?
There's only 2 things. Cleanse. Cleanse will break it. It will allow you to walk out. And Unstoppable on Johanna, her trait will allow her to actually get out of it. Nothing else breaks it.
That's it, man.
If Illidan metamorphoses out of the area, he'll break the frame for a second, but then he gets pulled back all the way if that 4 seconds is still up available. It's actually nearly impossible to get away from that thing.
Yeah, same thing with Tassadar and his E. He might hit it and move out of it, but as soon as that clears, yoink, he gets brought right back.
Yeah, you can't break it like that. You can't bolt out. If you bolt out, you get pulled back immediately too. So everything has to be come down in timing. You have to realize that you're stuck there for a little bit.
Absolutely, total lockdown. Red team just trying to clean up all of these minions and siege golems, web weavers, that's assaulting their fortifications, while the blue team continues to put pressure in this mid lane. Butcher is on the hunt. Illidan caught in the corner, just trying to bring it out. He does try to survive. Metamorphosis is popped for Illidan. He flips around to try to deal damage on this Uther. Uther trying to run away with his life. He hit Divine Shield to try to stay in the game, but he is definitely going to get chased down by these 3 heroes for the red team.
The red team's finally going to get a takedown. It looks like finally going to take out Uther. So that's 1 member falling down, but the rest of the team does show up, and here comes the Butcher running on in. His target here is Illidan once again. Illidan, though, looks like he may be able to tree. Is a heal up?
Oh,
yes, the heal is going to save them in time, and here comes a mosh pit potentially here from ETC. Can he hit it? No, he starts dancing once again. But the red team looks like they might be able to slither away here, get to level 16, which means that effectively, if they fight before level 20, they will be on equal ground here and there, so they could turn it around.
ETC just saying, where are you going, guys? we want to have a party.
That country skin, man.
Yeah, man.
I want to have a hoedown.
Exactly. All right, so red team trying to figure out how to survive. Oh, Jaina caught out of position. This is exactly what the red team needs right now. Tries to hit an ice block, but, you know, this is just postponing the inevitable here. Jaina falling to these 2 heroes and losing a ton of gems in the process. That is not what you want to have happen to a fragile hero like Jaina.
Well, the Butcher sniffing out his prey, essentially.
Yeah, he knows Illidan's
rotating down. Lambda Slaughter is available. Here he goes. He's going to charge on in with the Ruthless Onslaught. There goes Lambda Slaughter, and Illidan just stuck with knows it once again. He tries to pull back, gets pulled away. ETC follows up with a CC, and man, that thing can be powerful if you don't have a number advantage.
Yeah, it's almost hard to watch, Tim. It's just like you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Like, well, I'm stuck here. Well, we'll see what we can do here. So the way to play against this, if you are kind of wondering, whoa, this looks really, really strong, is you need to be coordinated with your team and be able to kind of turn around, because you can fight in that area.
Yeah.
But there is something that I do want to note. We are about to hit level 20. The level 20 upgrade for the Butcher on the Lambda Slaughter
let's talk about that.
It can actually pick up to 5 people. If you drop it on 5 people, the whole team can be chained to that lamppost.
Absolutely.
Or the hitch post. So we're actually going to see an example of this probably down here in the bottom right corner, about to pop up. Watch the bottom right part of your screen here, as the Butcher is going to use his Lambda Slaughter to lock down 3 people so they can focus the other.
And man, great timing too, because they're still sitting at 19, and this happens like right on the cusp of level 20. So watch this. Lambda Slaughter is thrown down right here on these 2 heroes for the red team. As they're bunched up, he knows exactly what to do.
Now watch all 3 of them. They're all going to try and come help their teammates, and they just get pulled back. They're zoned out. They can't do anything.
Totally zoned, yep. And there goes the Diablo. And look, they're standing on top of this Merc camp that was about to get capped as well. So nice job by Blue to essentially close the match here. This is the clutch fight here. Illidan trying to stay in the match, but just no match for the collected blue team, as the rest of his team had retreated.
Not able to do it. 4 members down for the red team, and the blue team using the Butcher here can charge forward and really just take down this core and take the game. So there is a quick display of what the Butcher can do, where he can be strong in. Now, we did build these compositions to be a little bit strong here for the Butcher, because we wanted to show off how strong he can be. But there is some pretty solid counterplay if you would like to. But overall, man, he can be great. He can be great, amazing. You know, I'm looking forward to him coming out, and the first thing I want to try is Kerrigan and the Butcher, man.
Butcher's not done yet. Wants to Tassadar before sealing the game here, but yeah, man, like you're saying, such a ruthless hero. You know, let's talk a little bit, Tim, about this hero. And if you had to pick a hero that could kind of absolutely augment the Butcher, so sort of like the ally that you want to have, if you had to choose one, who would you pick?
You know, in theory crafting, I believe the Tassadar would be a really strong counter to the Butcher, because the Butcher starts his Ruthless Onslaught, charges into a fight, and his teammates need to follow up. Put a force wall in between those 4 and just focus down the Butcher right away, right?
Yep.
And that will make him force his engagements correctly, and of course make sure he's on point with his teammates, or he'll just die immediately and lose all of his stacks. So Tassadar, some kind of CC. A lot of warriors are straight against him too, because he can't actually kill them off quick enough, and they have a lot of displacement available to him too.
Totally. On the other side of that, if you had to pick an absolute Butcher killer, who would that be?
If I wanted to play with Butcher with somebody strong. Oh, a counter? No, I'm talking about Tassadar as a counter.
I see. You're talking
I think
about counter.
with actually with the Butcher, I really want to play Kerrigan and the Butcher. Those two together can just roam like crazy, man. You kind of get the Butcher to start the fight with the Ruthless Onslaught. There's a slight stun that he has when he actually does hit his opponent. Bring in Kerrigan combo with some Envenom. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's dead opponents.
Fantastic, man. Well, there you have it. This is the very beginning of the Eternal Conflict. Like Ao said earlier, this is just the beginning. First hero, first battleground. We're really excited to have shown you the Butcher, but we are not done yet. Tim and I are going to be back to show you the Battlefield of Eternity as well. But before we do that, we do want to check in with Luke Mancini. He is there with Malik for a quick update on his progress with his artwork.
What's going on, guys? We are back with Luke Mancini, and he's progressed quite a bit with this this artwork. Dude, this is amazing. I'm loving the Butcher. Look at little Lily back there. She's assisting the Butcher, I would imagine. So what was your inspiration behind this piece, man?
So initially, obviously, I wanted to show off the Butcher. We finally get to show him off. As with Johanna, it's like he's finally out in the open. And then Lily, she doesn't get much love. So I wanted her. She's not just some little meek panda. She can throw down with the rest of them.
So your Heroes in StarCraft work has been pretty amazing. But we can't wait to see what you have in store for Eternal Conflict. Could you tell us a little bit more about how excited you are to do Diablo-themed content now?
It's a heap of fun. For one thing, it's the first time we get to bring a Blizzard world into the Nexus with the map, the Eternal Conflict, and it's been so much fun working on it. It's also the style of Diablo. It's more gritty, it's darker, and it's been a huge challenge, but it also a heap of fun trying to keep that feel of Diablo, but at the same time make it fit in with everything else that is Heroes of the Storm.
Right. So what would you say are some of the key differences with doing Diablo-themed art as opposed to anything else?
I think Diablo really has that gothic, sort of dark, moody vibe. You're in dungeons all the time, you're fighting these demons, and I think that was what we really had to try and grab onto. So with the map, we've got the hell side especially. It's dark, it's got these demons fighting across it, and I think especially like with the Butcher, this guy he's super creepy. He comes at you out of the dark. He's definitely just all about the evil, basically.
Well, Luke, I want to put this on my wall, man. I'm going to be giving you a call after this is all over. Thank you very much for your time and for this drawing, man. This is amazing. Guys, if you're an artist, you need to keep an eye on Blizzard. They just teamed up with DeviantArt to make the ultimate Heroes of the Storm fan contest for artwork. So keep an eye on DeviantArt.com. $10,000 worth of cash and prizes are on the line for the best artwork out there. And with that, we're going to kick it back to Anna. She's got a guest out there. Take it away.
Thanks, Malik. Yes, I am honored to be here with William Donaldson, a.k.a. Hengist. How are you doing today, man?
Thanks. It's an honor to be here. It's been a lot of fun.
You have a lot of fans here, and they probably know you from your work with TGN and TGN Squadron. But for those people who don't know what that is, could you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. TGN is now a long-running network of gamers who, frankly, just like to make content about games. So we try to help them build audiences, and ultimately it's just a conglomerate of collaborators who, hopefully get to make a happy little buck on the side, right?
Absolutely. And TGN Squadron is your team?
Yeah, Squadron is our in-house team, kind of, where we just have kind of our roster people that play games. If you guys know anything about the Squadron, you'll notice that we have been focused exclusively on Heroes of the Storm for over a year and a half now, since early Tech Alpha. So we've been having a lot of fun. And now we have a Squadron channel. It's youtube.com/games, where we do content for players of all different levels of experience. More recently, we've been getting into the more competitive end, where we climb the Hero League ladder on camera, and that's been a lot of fun. People have been very receptive to it. But largely, we're just an entertainment group of people. There's actually some other Squadron members in attendance here. You don't mind if I shout out?
No, go ahead.
We have Forecourt Jester. You guys saw Kai Berries earlier on the stage. We have Pally Time, and of course, Gilly Wheat, including myself.
Here he comes. He's going to give you a little bit of a hug there. Aww. So much love in the Heroes community. And, it takes a huge team of people to make content, I know. Shouting out your teammates, do you want to say any other thanks to them?
Well, yeah, it's been an honor to work with all of them. Obviously, there are people behind the scenes with some of our higher production value stuff. that we've done that they don't get to soak up the spotlight like we do. But yeah, we're just a group of friends. You know, that's what gaming's all about. I try to remind everybody, you know, we have an issue with toxicity. Every time we log in to have fun, and we think that Squadron does it really well.
Well, I think so too. I've seen some of your videos, but if people haven't, what will they find when they go to your YouTube channel?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of stuff, but predominantly we do focus on entertainment. We have been focused more recently on a tutorial series, which I think we wanted to talk about a little bit later, which is very much directed at brand new players of the game, so to speak. Gone are the days that you can turn over the board game and look at the rules of the game. You kind of need it in video format now. So we're trying to fill that role for the community and teach people how the game works on a ground level.
Well, absolutely. I think what you're referring to is Heroes Academy.
Yes, indeed.
And we actually have a video to show you guys. If you haven't seen Heroes Academy, really helpful series that helps you get to know heroes at a beginner level and as well as a detailed level. So we're going to show that video now. Thank you so much, Hengist.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, Hengist here. Welcome back to Heroes Academy, your guide to Blizzard Entertainment's Heroes of the Storm. Today's topic will be hero roles and how they weigh into your team's composition. The Heroes of the Storm are categorized into 4 separate classes: the Assassins, the Warriors, the Specialists, and the Supports. Each role has its own set of strengths and weaknesses, characteristics that define their actions over the course of a match, and the factors considered while drafting a team comp. The Assassins. The Assassins are the damage dealers and killers in the Nexus. They've got the lion's share of offensive abilities that they trade for weaker defenses, requiring greater attention to their positioning and target prioritization in a team fight. Regardless of whether or not the assassin is melee or ranged, it's important that they don't overcommit in team fights. They often look to the other roles to protect them. The Warriors. Warriors excel at taking damage and disrupting the enemy team by use of stuns, slows, or displacements. Warriors are typically the heroes that are on the front line of team fights, being the first into battle and starting the fight. Because of this, warriors are usually the target of healing abilities and other forms of damage reduction. The Supports. Supports are, for all intents and purposes, the healers of the storm. Their job is to keep the rest of the team alive for as long as possible through heals, shields, and other forms of crowd control. It's the support's task of helping the assassins in their quest to deal damage, as well as back warriors in their quest to control the battlefield. Lastly, the Specialists. Specialists are easily the hardest role to summarize in a single sentence. They fill in the gaps. Some excel at siege damage in the form of pushing a lane to core, others are best at gathering experience for the team, and some are able to assist in battle from the safety of home base. No matter the role you choose, it's an important part of what makes each battle in the Nexus unique. There's no mold that you have to abide by, no cookie to cut. Be creative and always be on the lookout for new strategies. The creativity is part of what separates Heroes of the Storm from other MOBA-style games.
All right, thank you so much, Hengist and the crew from TGN. You know what, Tim? We owe a huge shout out to all you content creators out there. You guys are awesome. You have built an incredible community around this game. We love your content. We watch it all the time. It is truly an honor. Yeah, it's truly an honor to watch how you guys grow, all the content you contribute to the growth of the community. It's awesome. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, thanks. I've learned so much from TGN and others as well. Just everything that you guys do is fantastic. So.
Yep, massive shout outs. And now, we are not done. We got work to do, guys. We have to talk more about Eternal Conflict. Of course, if you're just tuning in, Eternal Conflict is this package of Diablo-themed content that is about to descend on the Nexus of Heroes of the Storm. We took a quick look at the Butcher, an upcoming melee assassin who will be joining us out of the gate for Eternal Conflict Now we get to turn our eyes to the battlegrounds.
That's right, a new battleground is coming your way soon. It is the Battlefield of Eternity, and here it is, the map overview. Something to realize is that it is a 2-lane map. You have a lane in the top, a lane in the bottom, but also above the lanes, you have these small corridors that a Nova that's sneaking go through, a Gazelle that wants to grab the mercenary camp that's located at the very top grab, and it's kind of mirrored on both sides as well, so a lot of like sneaky corridors that are happening. And for you at home, when you do finally get into this battle map, please do me a favor and look at all the cosmetics around here, because they actually try to reach out and grab you. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool on the edges. You know, I want to point out a little bit this middle part. It's clearly a dominant part of the map, and we're going to see it when we take a look at this game. Those 4 circles in the center are essentially the arena for which the objective on this map takes place. An Immortal, shortly after the start of the game, for each team will spawn in the middle and start combat against one another. It is your team's job to protect your Immortal while attacking the opposing team's Immortal. You essentially want to help kill those Immortals in the middle for your enemy. If you can secure the death or the destruction of your opposing team's Immortal, your Immortal will take on a shield, go into lane, and start pushing in your favor.
Yeah, and always push the lane that is the strongest lane as well. So it will be flipping and flopping, so you have to make sure to be on point. There's a lot of strategy that will happen on this battleground, but we'll talk about in the actual map. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man, and
let's
show
get
it
into
off.
it. Let's not waste any more time. This is Battlefield of Eternity, Eternal Conflict.
All right, man, here we are on the left side. You're going to see the Butcher. Once again, we actually paired him with the Crusader, Johanna. Boy, they are a strong combo.
Yeah.
So much CC and flinging people around. And of course, they have a nice amount of heroes here with Rhaegar, Vala, and then Tassadar on the very top. So a strong comp here. Very, very solid when it comes to team fights. Now, the red team has a little bit of a weird team, and we kind of wanted to show you some of the strategy that you can pull off in this battleground. Gazzo can be very, very powerful because the Immortals, as Kevin mentioned earlier, can be defensive or offensive, however you want to play. So if you set up a lot of turrets around your defensive Immortal, you can actually set your team up to go farm out the lanes, get experience, and get an advantage. So they're going to try that out with this strategy. But we do have the Vikings, Uther, Diablo, Jaina, and Gazzo trying to face off.
And of course, a quick shout out to the art team for the art on this battleground. It is incredible. Clearly, 2 different tile sets in one battleground. We've never been able to do that. We actually had to increase and level up our tech to support a battleground like this. Full hell side, burning hell side, and high heaven side on the left. So really, really cool. Really brings that Diablo fantasy to life in the Nexus. And of course, we're just at the start of this game right now. You have about 1 minute and 45 seconds before the objective kicks in. So you're going to see heroes, you know, just meleeing it up, battling it up in lane, gaining experience where they can. The Butcher is clearly farming up his fresh meat trait, which we talked about. And man, looks like we are going to get an early kill on the Butcher in this fight here, 4v3 actually, or 4v4. Blue team loses Butcher.
Butcher getting a little aggressive against 3 turrets, and the CCs from Diablo is going to be taken down. Now, the top lane, the Vikings are just doing their best to soak that as well. But you're right, the early game is a little bit normal compared to normal maps. What you're going to be doing is trying to soak, get to level 4, because the Immortals coming around 1 of 45 are usually around level 3. So you have about a good 30-40 seconds before you're going to try and get 4 while the Immortals popping up. But now we have some more aggression in the middle here. We do see the Johanna getting focused down here by the turrets. You got to be careful, man. You can't engage Gazzo like that. But Gazzo needs to set up right now because he needs to start moving towards where the Immortals are, because he'll be here in 15 seconds.
Yeah, right now, Immortals spawning in 10 seconds. That center area, which we got to look at just a couple seconds before, is where we're going to see our attention drawn right now. Immortals spawning in 3, and here we're going to see them. Keep in mind, the location of these spawns for both the Burning Hell side and the Heaven side is random. This first spawn is random between the north and south point. So you don't actually know where your Immortal is going to spawn or how you're going to react. So you always have to be on your toes and paying attention. Of course, blue team trying to push the red team out so that they can start to deal damage on that red Immortal.
Now, I know we have a fight happening here in the middle of the battleground, but just look at all of the weird corridors and the vision. This place is scary and dark. In fact, Scouting Drone is actually, we recommend picking it up because you need some vision, because it's really hard to see a lot of stuff that's occurring, and Gazzo's trying to take advantage of that by just putting up turrets everywhere and hiding behind walls. But you see them sitting next to their red Immortal right now, so they're playing defensively, and that allows them to move towards the level 4 and push out the lanes. But the Immortal, if you're playing defensively around it, will be offensive against the opponent. So they will put down area effect abilities. They'll also do a slam/attack animation that they'll try and get them off. There's the AoE right there. That's for ranged attacks. And then we'll show off the melee one. There it is right here. It'll knock everyone back in that radius.
And both of those abilities also stun. So, you know, when you're getting into major team fights around Immortals, it is such chaos because you're seeing this multi-point like Diablo's Apocalypse Heroic, if you're familiar with that, this multi-point damage and stun happening along with this melee sort of cleave, and stun. So it is absolute mayhem when you have full team fights happening like the one we're seeing here right now. Red team kind of getting pushed out by the blue team here. Of course, Johanna, such a strong character. She can just wade into them all. There goes the kill on Diablo, and you know, Johanna's not done. She wants to secure at least a kill on that Eric, but not able to take him down.
Now, the blue team's going to try and go to the other Immortal and get it down to 50%. As soon as the Immortal moves down to 50% health, they will actually fight in the middle, kind of anime style, and they'll go ahead and trade positions. Or not trade positions, they'll go into a random spot, but they'll always be facing against each other. So now with them being down to 50%, you'll see them kind of go in the middle and clash, which, by the way, I love this animation.
So cool.
It's so very Dragon Ball-esque, very, very cool. And we're going to see both of them pull back and kind of just start fighting again.
So, and again, that is totally random. So the Immortal that falls to 50%, he will go to a random position in the remaining, and the other 3 positions. And then, of course, the opposing Immortal will go opposite that one.
Now,
go ahead.
Red team is actually grabbing these mercenary camps, which, by the way, are new to this battleground. These ones are the Fallen Shaman. They actually have 2 hounds in front of them that will always be pushing. And the Shaman, if you do not kill it, oh, by the way, we just saw an Immortal win.
Pretty sick.
Awesome animation. He's going to go and channel up here, get really strong, grab the shields, grab the health, and remember, he'll be always pushing the strongest lane. That way they can kind of counterbalance that.
Yep.
But back to these guys.
Yeah, these Fallen Shaman, really interesting. If you played D3, you are familiar with these monsters. They are able to essentially resurrect their hounds. So you really want to focus destroying the Shaman first. Otherwise, you're killing the hounds needlessly. The Shaman's just going to resurrect them. And of course, here we're seeing the blue team Immortal push in their favor. I wanted to talk a little bit about that channel you saw after the blue Immortal was able to take down the red one. When that happens, the Immortal takes on a shield. That shield allows the Immortal to fight at range. So essentially, the more health your Immortal has going into this laning phase, the stronger its shield. Each time it deals damage at range, that shield lessens. So you want to enter with a shield that is super duper strong. Of course, we're seeing a little bit of graphic hitches here. Like we said at the beginning, this is recorded on a dev build, so some of it is still works in progress. You are going to see some oddities here that you will not see in the live game. But that shield, super important. The second it drops, the Immortal will fall to the ground and push into melee, which is super interesting strategically.
Yeah, that it is. We now have a little scuffle happening down here on the bottom. Looks like Johanna might just get picked off. Just kidding, she's Johanna. Gonna be able to walk away, super powerful. But you see the red team, their strategy's kind of falling apart a little bit. They're trying to get back into it, trying to get ahead in experience here, and they're starting to work together. And now they're gonna walk up, start throwing down the turrets, but the Butcher charges in on top of Gazlo, trying to focus him down. The laser does go off, but finally Gazlo's gonna be thrown down. But remember, this entire strategy is built around fighting in the middle and really kind of holding down the Immortals. They want to play defensive.
We saw the blue team pick up one of the other merc camps. So on the north and south part of the map is another unique set of mercenaries. These are of course, the siege camps. You're seeing them right there in the bottom of your screen. They're the Khazra from D3. If you played Act 1 in D3, you're familiar with these guys as well. These are a little different from the siege giants that you've seen in our previous maps. They only deal single target damage. They have less health than your typical siege giant, but they do increase damage to buildings. So the second those north-south merc camps get onto your fortifications, you really want to make sure that you're taking care of them quickly.
Yeah, and if you're a team knowing that the Immortals are coming up and you're in a position to grab those Impalers, you want to go ahead and grab them ASAP because they will break down turrets right away. And you see the red team trying to do that right now, and they're trying to move to level 10 as well because the blue team is pretty far ahead. And you see the Fallen Shaman nabbing grab for the blue team. This puts pressure on the map, which opens up this fight here in the middle for the Immortals.
Yeah, absolutely. That time between Immortal cycles, it's about 1 minute and 45 seconds, is absolutely when you want to be taking merc camps to set up the situation going into the Immortal phase when it pops again. And of course, red team, all the way up here in this top lane, they know the blue team is sitting on top of their Immortal. They got to get in here and essentially stop that.
This is advantageous for the red team. They know they can get a couple turrets up. They'll be able to help defend this, but the blue team doing their best to focus down this Immortal down to 50%, so it will move before Gazlo can set up. So doing a really good job kind of countering the entire style. And Bayla getting picked off isn't actually helping the red team either because they're losing experience. But the red team finally does fortify this position, and you see the blue team realize, all right, we can't fight with turrets and the Immortal defending. So they go for this strategic option. They go straight for the fort to get level 10. That way they have their heroics.
Yeah, it's really smart on their part. They realize, you know what, we can't take that. Let's get some experience. Maybe we can get our heroics early and get into a stronger position later, while essentially the red team is securing that kill on the Immortal.
And the red team realizing that they need to get level 10 too because they won't be able to fight the Immortals. Now that everyone walks away from the Immortals, which is where all the action is, to get level 10. We have the red team pushing the top lane here, getting their own level heroic abilities. And remember, they do have a pretty strong wombo combo with the Gravel Bomb and Jaina. So now everyone's going to move to the middle here and trying to get on these Immortals and start fights.
There you're seeing those Impalers, man, just chunking away at buildings. That is absolutely when they're most strong. So as a team defending against a push like that, you need to pay attention. Whoa. Huge team fight here. Gazlo trying to just get in here and mix it up. He is a very strong hero on this map, actually, for maintaining control around these Immortal points. Red team jumping in right now on this blue Immortal, and there you saw the AoE cleave. Both of his abilities dealing damage, pushing and displacing. Actually, the melee one displaces, but they both deal stuns.
Now, the red team, they have a wombo combo base type of composition, so they just used it all, right? They're taking out 3 members, so their entire objective right now is to focus down this Immortal, burn it ASAP. That's all they're going to try and do here. They don't want to do any more fighting. The Archon, though, is doing a really good job of kind of delaying them from that objective so that their opponents can't spawn, but you're going to see the red team just right-click this Immortal, kill it off, so they have a stronger Immortal pushing lanes later.
Yep, Diablo just trying to push away the aggression from the blue team, and that Immortal is almost taken down here. We did see the Viking ultimate pop there. Gazlo, in a bad position here, running away from Johanna. She is going to pull him back, and looks like he's probably going to fall out of this fight with the blue team sort of collapsing upon him.
Poor Booster finally going to be taken down, but looks like the red team's Immortal did win. He actually beat out the Hell's Immortal, and now he goes down the bottom, because remember, this is actually the strongest lane to go into right now.
Yeah, very interesting that these Immortals, they can be very versatile. They don't just push a single lane like, say, a map like Haunted Mines, where the Golems push the one particular lane every game. This is very versatile. These Immortals will look and go towards the strongest lane to push against your opponent. So very interesting strategically to kind of build your approach to victory around that mechanic.
Well, the red team, unfortunately, with being killed off there by the blue team, was unable to push with this Immortal, so it looks like it will be dealt with accordingly. But you can see how strong it is. It is kind of chunking through those turrets, and it was able to get through them pretty nicely. Now, moving into the mid-game, you're going to see the red team trying to group up once again, allowing the Vikings to try and keep soaking on the map. But the blue team is doing such a good job of staying together and not allowing Gazlo to ever set up in other areas besides the Immortals.
Absolutely, and there's the Butcher. We saw that Butcher brand there right on top of Uther. That is such a dangerous time when the Butcher is able to take health back from his opponents. And of course, Diablo just trying to say, go away. But that Uther trying to run away with his life balls on top of him. That's not a good position for him.
Uther low on HP, but looks like he might just barely get away, as he always does. But Diablo was taken down for the red team, and now it looks like Gazlo and Jaina are going to be forced to retreat. No, they're getting picked off once again. And the blue team, when it comes to straight team fights, they're doing so good. That's what the Butcher does, man. He really targets people down. And oh no, lands a slaughter, catching Gazlo. And now the blue team, having 3 members taken out for the red team, are going to be able to kind of rotate and get ready for the next Immortals, which will be spawning pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tim, what do you feel like is the strategy here? I mean, there's so many choices on a battleground like this. Do you defend your Immortal? Do you go offensive and attack all in on the opposing team's Immortal? Do you stay in lane? Do you manually push as heroes? Do you go for siege camps? What do you feel like is the winning strategy here on the battleground?
It all comes down to your composition. We've been seeing the red team, again with Gazlo setting up on the defensive side and waiting for the blue team to make mistakes or rotate out. The blue team on the other side, though, want to be aggressive. They have a team comp that's really good at taking out heroes. After they take out heroes, they can deal with their opponent's Immortals. So you're going to see them be a bit more aggressive. They want to get to their opposing Immortal before Gazlo can get their set up. So it's all this kind of war of who sets up first, who gets the positioning, and who can really make the plays first.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also seems like your teams can sort of make a choice. Are you going to push the other team into making decisions reactively to you, or are you going to sit back and play defensive reactionary against the opposing team? Allow them to kind of say, okay, we're going to go here, so then you play reactionary and then try to win team fights. I mean, there's so much versatility in how you can approach this battleground as it matches up against the strategy of your opponent. And of course, right now we did see both teams kind of turning their eyes towards Merc camps before that the Immortal phase spawns, which is happening right now. Both Immortals are up in the center of the map, but we see so many Mercs pushing for red here in the top. Fallen Shaman right here. Watch this too. I think we do see a resurrection here from the Fallen Shaman in the top lane.
Yep,
there you saw it. So you don't want to focus the Hounds. You want to focus the Shaman, get them out of the fight so that you're not taking more damage than you need to.
Well, the blue team has pressure on the bottom lane, but the red team realizes they need to get in here and fight, because this is where they've actually gotten advantages out, and they're going to move in. They do a nice job of hitting a grapple bomb and taking out one member, but the falling sword here from Johanna is able to take out a number of members. Her unstoppable has really kind of helped with dealing with this wombo combo, but she does fall. 2 members down for the blue team. Red team trying to chase down, picking out a few more. The Butcher, though, is really just going to work on these Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. Butcher right on top of Olaf. He is not going to make it out of there alive. Blue team also trying to just push red out of the center and maintain retain map control. There goes Gazlo. And here is Uther just trying to put up a fight. Blue team actually deciding to push back, try to regroup and focus maybe around this objective here below.
Yeah, the blue team realizing what the red team strategy was, finally just goes straight for the throat. They go for the fight. They got pressure on the bottom lane. They're able to take the fight pretty well. It looks like they're going to be able to get this forward as well, or this keep, which is meaning the Immortal will go to the top lane because they still have a forward available. So they probably will set up from potentially maybe an all-in in the bottom lane, go straight for the core and threaten that. That way their Immortal can actually deal with the forward in the top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Blue team ahead on this objective fight this cycle. The red Immortal at 50%. We are going to see them change positions. These Impalers are totally chunking away at that top fortification against blue. And yep, we're seeing them set up in their new positions here. Butcher right there on top of the Immortal. And of course, he has to dance out of that melee cleave in order to not receive damage, get the knockback, and receive his stun.
All right, the entire team for the red team has spawned up, and they do want to get to the Immortal quickly here and start setting up the turrets. And it looks like they'll be able to. But remember, the Immortal for the blue team has full health, so they really want to try and maybe start getting aggressive. You see them setting up a few turrets, but already in the bottom left, you see Rhaegar, Tassadar, the Butcher really setting up for going for a fight, and then you do it ASAP, particularly on Jaina.
Yeah, and I want to point out how awkward it is to play on this map in terms of vision. Like you were saying before, so many nooks and crannies. All of those rocks have issues with line of sight. It actually makes it really difficult to know where people are on this battleground, and that can be super dangerous for squishy heroes like Jaina or Kael'thas. You know, when you're traveling through that center area, it is actually remarkably dangerous.
Yeah, a few members got picked up there because they didn't see Johanna, and Johanna came in. She brought her falling sword, followed up with a condemn, and picked up a couple of members. The red team were able to salvage it pretty decently as they got a couple of takedowns, but overall they have lost this fight because they used their entire wombo combo. So they're forced to pull back and try and find a different area to go.
Blue team still in control of the center, but red team, realizing they do have the numbers advantage, are pushing back down to get on top of this objective. Gazlo there, trying to just set up shop, which is, of course, a really interesting component about this battleground. I feel like Gazlo is a very strong hero in this battleground for his ability to control space.
Yeah, the entire middle of the map, he just kind of owns this area if he doesn't get picked off immediately. And his team's doing a really good job of kind of backing him up. You see him setting up turrets all in these small nook and crannies.
Oh,
but the thing is, the Butcher shows up and says, "What up, man?" Takes him out. They need a takedown. Now we have the Butcher going to chase down another member as well. It looks like Uther with Lamb for the slaughter. He just picked off.
So sad. His eyes widen as he sees this horrible melee assassin of the Butcher descend upon him. And meanwhile, blue team taking over control of this center area and focusing their attention on that red Immortal.
Yeah, the blue team finally going to be able to take down some Mortal. Diablo's going to try and slow it down. But the problem is they don't have much damage here as the Vikings have to go in at a certain angle, and they also have to get an amazing boat off. But the blue team can really do a good job of defending against that. And now the Immortal goes in the middle. He's going to take out the red one, unfortunately. And now the blue team has that advantage to be able to.
So we've seen a lot of back and forth. It was blue, red, now back to blue for these Immortal cycles. We're in the third one, and of course, it will continue to cycle that way throughout until the end of the game. It's essentially...
By the way, new catapults.
Oh yeah, pretty sweet. Those things are so cool. Each side has their own unique art for those catapults, and it's unique to these battlegrounds. Again, huge shout outs to the art team for the unique, specific design that they put into every bit of the artwork here.
Here's that range attack that you were talking about being on display, and you can see the shield kind of depleting as they're using those abilities. And as soon as he does finish off the entire shield, he does move into melee range, which makes it easier for the red team to defend against him. But for now, the blue team, being awarded for playing so well in that Immortal phase, is going to be able to use a lot of range tactics to take down these turrets.
I do want to talk about that one more time. So as you're in the Immortal phase in the middle of the fight, the more you defend your Immortal, the stronger that shield will be when you enter the laning phase. So very important to make the most out of that Immortal combat phase in the middle.
The red team, though, putting up a fight here. They did hit a 5-man wombo combo. The Viking boat finally going off here, and it looks like Gazlo's in trouble. No, he pulls back in time. It's going to heal up. Can Jaina and the Vikings chase? So the Vikings doing their best to try and apply damage anywhere, but the team is doing a good job at soaking those shots for them. Blue team now forced to retreat, and that was a decent fight for the red team. However, they did lose the key because Immortal was very, very powerful, and they chased a little bit too much.
Man, see, he's still in this fight, wreaking havoc on these structures for blue. And yeah, red team has to pull back to clean it up and get back into control. Of course, blue team up by 2 levels now, significant lead for them. And in fact, pushing ever closer to 20, where they get that really, really strong boost in power. Red team trying to take out these catapults as well. Those are very, very strong minions that push in the lane when you lose your keeps in the inner circle. So yeah, they do have to clean that up. Red team turning their attention to the Fallen Shaman in the middle as well, and blue team smartly picking up mercs here in the bottom.
Yeah, both teams trying to get pressure on the map because they know the next Immortal phase will be here soon. And this is the point where you need to start figuring out as a team, do you want to get aggressive on your opponents? Do you want to move towards their actual mercenary camp to try and take them down quickly. And I believe the blue team is going to start grouping up. There's only one mercenary camp available, and it's in the very top 12 o'clock position, and the Butcher is heading straight there.
Yep, he wants to pick it up for sure. Red team already there. Gazlo setting up shop with his turrets. Let's see. Oh, Butcher realizing he can't go in by himself. He is too fragile. He needs
a falling sword.
Nice. I love that heroic. So cool. This is just a knockdown, drag-out fight here. Johanna absolutely in the middle. That's where she wants to be. Oh, Butcher's brand on Diablo. Huge heal there from Rhaegar. Diablo falling low and taking out the fight. Blue taking over control. Divine shield on Uther as he does evacuate. And of course, Eric scurrying away, able to get away from that fight as well.
Unfortunately for the red team, the entire team was not there, and Johanna just did work. She's so anti-wombo combo. They did not really figure out the plan of what she could do, and now the blue team could totally just take this top lane and push it down and take down the core. And when and if they do, please pay attention to the core. There's a little surprise that might pop out.
Cool. For those of you that just love, one of the things I do want to talk about is that focus on Diablo. How do we bring Diablo to the Nexus? I love that the design team has really poured a lot of energy into trying to figure that out. And like you said, these cores, the art, the feel, the vibe, it is something, tons of attention, to try to essentially take a whole nother franchise, whole nother game, bring the feeling, bring the sounds, bring the look, the emotions into this battleground. It's super, super cool. Of course, the blue team just trying to seal this game totally in almost an unstoppable position against the red team as they're wailing away on this core, and that will be the end of the game.
Keep an eye out. Here it is. Look at all this legendary loot gonna pop out. Boom, there it is. Gold and nice items everywhere for the awards for the winning team. So
that's what you call a loot pinata.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Super awesome. So there you go. Battlefield of Eternity. It is such an honor for Tim and I to bring it to you for the very first time. And of course, if you're just tuning in, this is the package, the Eternal Conflict, about to descend upon the Nexus. How are people going to get a hold of this content, Tim? When are people actually going to be able to get their hands on this stuff?
Well, it'll be coming towards the end of the month. I believe the actual date, if I'm allowed to say
it,
is going to be June 30th. So guys, get ready for Battlefield of Eternity. It's coming your way, as well as Diablo on that date. So can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, one other quick nuance about that as well. We are going to have a PTR for this content as well. So the week before, you're actually going to be able to log in on our PTR and check it out as well. That's June 23rd. So if you want to get an early look, you can jump in and check that content out there as well. But Battlefield of Eternity, such an interesting map. What kind of heroes, we watched a game, but what other heroes do you feel like are going to be significantly show strong strengths on that battleground?
Yeah, heroes with great sustain. I think Lily will be really strong on that battleground because she's going to be able to help her teammates kind of stay healthy while they try to deal with the other Immortal. And then, of course, heroes that just do well at dealing with PvE type of elements. So Gazlo, although not the best showing there, could potentially be really good in the strong of a strong player like, I don't know, Dunk Train or something.
Yeah,
so
Dunk.
Maybe in the future, we'll see.
One other quick thing, when we were talking to designers about this battleground, they were also saying the Zagara is an absolute monster on this battleground as well. Her creep tumors for vision, that ability to use Nidus Tunnel all the way to get into those side corridors as well and flank your enemy. Some real interesting opportunities.
Nova's going to be so scary, man.
Man, sneaking around that back. Yeah, that's not going to be fun for sure. A lot of pain. Well, guys, it has been an honor to be here with you at the Mayhem Begins event. We're here at the YouTube space in LA, and we've just had a blast. An honor to be here with you, Tim.
It was fun, man. It was great. And it's great to share this stuff with you guys. It's awesome to be able to reveal. And if you liked it, let us know on Twitter and such, and maybe we can do more stuff like this in the future.
Well, guys, on behalf of myself, Kevin Johnson, Tim Frazier here, we are going to pass it back to Malik and Anna as they close the show out with us. Thanks for being here with us. We're going to talk to you very soon.
All right, I got to say, I've played The Butcher, I've played Battlefield of Eternity, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this content. It is amazing.
And you don't have to wait very long. That's very exciting. We just heard Tim say that it's going to be June 30th. That is the first part of Eternal Conflict will come out, and I'm stoked.
Right. And the PTR, keep in mind, is June 23rd. So keep an eye out for that, indeed.
Yeah, I'm having a great time, and we don't have to stop the party. We're actually going to get to hang out here for a little while longer.
Yes.
I just got some ink done. Check out my.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You like that?
Where'd you get that done at?
Over there.
Right over there?
Yeah, so anyone, if you want to get some ink done, you can get face painting. I saw some full face paint as well. What have you been enjoying so far?
I think my favorite part in this entire evening had to be that lowered expectations match. Mainly because Michelle pretty much carried that entire team to victory. They needed my friend to win it. They needed my friend.
So
I'm just saying.
You're not begrudging them the win anymore? You're okay with it?
No, you know what? There'll be a rematch. Someone will beat them eventually.
Someday.
One day, Jesse, you will go down.
We can only see.
We can only see.
And we will have lots and lots of Heroes to play, as Heroes is playable now. So go download it, go play. We have plenty of games to come.
Plenty of games to come. And on that note, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for joining us. And everyone here at YouTube Space LA, thank you for joining us. Yes, yes. All right. And,
thank you guys, and we will see you in the Nexus.
All right.